The Krown's magical dips and cave dip.
What? God damn. Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Who we blaming for this dump today? Perhaps we were on the moon all along, my friends. Anyways, with that said, did Elon Musk tweet again? Hold on. I need to know. I need to fucking know, because this was the justification for price action coming down in the more recent of the events in this world. And do we have an Elon Musk tweet? Let's go check out good old crypto Twitter. And what do we have over here? Just retweeting Tesla bullshit and nothing that is completely relevant at all. What the fuck is going on right here? Doesn't matter. We're blaming him anyways. So how about this? RDD2 says,
"Fucking bastard. How about he post some bullish tweet to make everyone happy? Everyone is losing money because of this fucking Krown. At Elon Musk, fix this hole you've dug and buried everyone in."
Mayron Akbar, a little bit less diplomatic, he says,
"Shut up, motherfucker, bastard. Fuck your whore mother and the girlfriend." In the car at Elon Musk, in a car where you made your mother, on a rocket, on Mars, on the moon, in a short, every time you think of your mother, fuck my dog, you bastard. Don't talk about the Bitcoin! Enough! Dogs shit in your face. Don't breathe any teeth in your mouth. Dogs fuck your mom. Don't talk about the Bitcoin, bastard.
There you have it, my friends. Once again, Elon Musk is certainly the reason for this dump. He has initiated the red dildo party. He has hit the red button on everyone's account, and he is the man that you are looking for. So anonymous, go and get him, because starting a fight with billionaires is always a good idea, as seen in prior James Bond films. Anyways, with that said, let's go focus on the Krown chain application over here. Obviously, we did take a little bit of the southwards path that we spoke about yesterday. Taking out that 35,500-ish low on Bitcoin was the key indication for that, even though I was looking for a little bit of short-term upside from there. Looks like we could only get towards just barely 37,000 bucks. Weak as fuck, baby. But actually, a few other altcoins actually did make a little bit of a leg up there. Anyways, with that said, Bitcoin's still leading the party here. And of course, when Bitcoin does show weakness, it looks to me like we still do not have that bifurcated market. We still do not have that ultimately matured market that I think a lot of people are looking for, where essentially we do see things doing different things over the long period of time. Indeed, we do see when Bitcoin comes down, all the things, no matter how good or bad they look, they typically do follow. Anyways, Bitcoin dominance still hanging around 41%, which is actually rather telling right here, because Bitcoin is still playing within the greater term time frame range, about 32,000 bucks to the downside versus 41,000 bucks to the upside. Yes, we are close to the downside right now, so of course everyone's gonna get a lot more fearful, a lot more bearish, and that is by definition just as the same when we were around the top side as well. At the end of the day, it's the same shit that we've been looking at here for the past 3 fucking weeks. 30,000 to 40,000 bucks, just make it goddamn simple. And while things are actually showing a little bit of continuation to the downside here, I do still think that Bitcoin probably puts in a bull trap before ultimately moving lower. Anyways, Fear and Greed Index still stuck at about a 13 read, which is one of the lowest that we have seen in the past, well, really the past few years, actually. Very rarely do we even get into single digits, but this one printing a 13 read right now, and the red dildo party's barely even begun. Anyways, open interest still hanging around about 5.9 billion, which is actually rather telling as well. You know, if we were looking for a massive continuation effort off this move, which I'm not saying isn't going to happen, I'm just saying that this is a good signal that we probably do see a little bit of a bouncy bounce after perhaps seeing a short-term move a little bit lower here. But with the open interest still hanging around 6 billion, we still have not seen any major positions added alongside a break of the high-term time frame range. So I do think with, you know, incorporating everything together, I do think that we are more or less range-bound here, at least for, you know, the next few days. Yes, we can get wicks above. Yes, we can get wicks below. But on a closing basis, I do believe that the put-call market still actually has a lot to be said about this. Anyways, top 10 best coins, top 10 worst coins. Actually, we do see Theta Fuel is having a decent day. Now, I did do a little bit of a look at Hex actually, because it's not included on this list over here. And funnily enough, man, that chart is like still staying up, which is fucking strange. But other than that, other than Theta Fuel, nothing having a good day. Everything in the red, it looks like. And top 10 worst coins, we got Bake, Thorchain, Clayton. Is that even a thing? Qtum, Phantom, Siacoin's on there too. Jesus Christ. IOTA, Icon, Compound, and Filecoin all getting smacked in the face. Double-digit losses or more. And my lord, that is just fucking devastating right there. Mark data tab over here. What do we see? That is of particular interest right now as well. Yeah, we do see, of course, on the funny rates, which is also suggesting, hey, look, while I do think that Bitcoin could obviously move lower here, I do think that Bitcoin is setting up for a relatively decent bounce, or I don't know about decent bounce, but this thing's weak as fuck. But ultimately, remember, it's a 2-week MACD that did give the bias that all bounces very likely get sold. I'm still looking for that more or less bull trap. I want to see open interest go up. I want to see people actually put on positions that can fucking be liquidated in this market right now. But with funding rate being so negative on FTX posting a negative 0.82, we see BitMEX at negative 0.078 there. Bybit is what 0.04. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, a lot of these exchanges are actually paying you to be long right now. So while Bitcoin probably does have a little bit more short-term downside, I do think that we probably set up for a bit of a bounce, and then that's probably going to be your bull trap coming up over the rest of this month. With that in mind, I do want to now swing on over into the put call markets over here. Okay, so what I'm showing you right here is I'm showing you the end of the week expiration. First and foremost, let's actually look at what our current expiration is for today. I believe the 33. Yeah, the 33 put strike is getting played a little bit there. But realistically, it's the weeklies here that actually have like actual fucking interest on them. You can see that over here on the actual open interest across expirations. We can see that 08 is just nothing. Obviously, the end of the week is still relatively, very, very small in comparison to what we should be looking at, which is the June regulars. But ultimately, this would suggest with $30,000 put strikes getting played significantly here, like massively significantly compared to anything else. I do believe that this is likely going to align with Bitcoin, very likely not breaking below $30,000 before end of this week. Does that mean that we can't test back down around there? Of course, it doesn't mean that we can't get wicks below there. But ultimately, do I think that Bitcoin closed above $30,000 before end of week? Yes, I do. And I do think that we need to now incorporate that with the June regulars, which we started looking at yesterday, I believe it was. And what do we see? We see 40,000 and 50,000 strikes getting played significantly here once again. So I do still look at this as likely to put in some sort of a bull trap around the perhaps more like mid to low $40,000 territory. Maybe later this month, something like that. But overall, it is still looking like the 2-week MACD is going to be the tell in this case, as we do bring it back on over here. So how do I want to postulate this? Okay, first, let's do the daily perusal of the three things that we've been looking for to denote like a major, potentially even macro low in Bitcoin, of which we still have 0 of them. We've had 0 of them, and we still have 0 of them. We do not see the hash ribbons indicator giving anything resembling a buy signal. In fact, not only are we not given a buy signal right here, we are quite literally incapable of giving a buy signal as long as it is in the recovery phase. You can see this is actually getting drawn out more and more as long as Bitcoin does kind of glide around the low side of this long-term time frame range. Now, on top of that, we obviously do not see higher lows. In fact, quite literally, Bitcoin just broke on new lows as far as yesterday's closing daily dildo does go. It looks like we did have a closing price of what, 33.5, yeah, versus our last closing price, which were more around $35,000, a little bit below $35,000. So that is 0 for 2, and then 0 for 3 would be historical volatility, or not historical volatility percentile, but of course BBWP, the Trollinger bands with percentile, obviously not showing that we are in those single digits as we've been looking for as well. So 0 for 3 on that, and that means that I want to bring it back on over here and recover the last like week of analysis, because it is obviously playing out right now too. Looking at the bi-weekly MACD, and what's up, Wasty said might range lows, not worried about death cross. I'm actually not too worried about the death cross. I'll explain that in a bit here, but I do want to get through this little segment first, and then we'll talk about the death cross. It will be relevant at some point, yes, but this also does kind of play into the overall analysis. Anyways, looking at the bi-weekly MACD right here, of course, we did confirm the actual downside cross that we spoke about that was likely over this past weekend on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and now following through with that, which does imply that all rallies very likely do get sold. Problem is, though, is that we really haven't seen like a decent rally since Bitcoin's like actually gone into the $30,000 range that you would expect, granted the historical signals of this. I'll bring you back towards the last few signals that we have seen to the downside over here. One of them would be this baby right here, as you can see, crossing down on the 28th of October in 2019. That was on this failed bounce from the 20 simple after about a 3 to 4 month long consolidation right here. And where did we top out? Around a little bit above the 9 exponential average. Again, I'd like to see something similar to that, and then ultimately it did obviously move lower. On top of that, where was the last time that we saw before that was right right on over here at February 2018. And what do you know? Bounce off the 20 simple into the 9 exponential average, a little bit above it again, and rejection, and then continuation to the downside on, well, new lows again, to be fair. And then the last time that we saw that same sort of iteration was way the fuck back on over here in March 2014. Same thing, bounces off the 20 simple, bounces into the 9 exponential average right here, rejection, and down and down and down we go actually for the next year or so. So, you know, theoretically speaking over here, we really have not seen like what you would have expected based off that historical signal just yet. I still do think that, you know, based off this, I would be looking for a rally somewhere into like the mid to low $40,000 territory. And then Bitcoin very likely does play at its downside if it wants to. And targets to the downside are going to be $25,000 and about $20,000 respectively. Assuming that Bitcoin just can't get back above $50,000. It is pressured down, to be fair. And while I am still postulating that this is ranging as far as the weekly trend goes, you know, things are really lining up that becomes a lot less enticing, we'll say. Anyways, we'll go over here to the daily as well. I want to follow up on this signal as well because we spoke about this, I believe, last week. I haven't really referenced it too much this week, so we'll recover this one, which would be the purple 200 exponential average right here and the yellow 21 exponential average right here. These two cross into the downside, so keep an eye on these two. Look at the blue 377, and then I just want to reference where the 200 simple is here as well. Anyways, anytime that we have seen this signal right here, it has actually led to long-term continuation, but before that long-term continuation, a lot of the time in a similar posture like this, after playing out a nice uptrending move, we have seen first and foremost a bull trap. This would be the last iteration, or sorry, this would be the most recent iteration that we have seen, going way back on over here in October 2019. You can see we got the same sort of cross, basically being rejected pretty much in about the same area, basing along the 377, an initial move to the downside, and then there's your bull trap right there. Bull trap comes around where? Well, if we do take a nice little Fibonacci retracement on this and put a bearish retracement on it, looks like I've already done that. Let me just double check that I actually have this right. Okay, I do. We did top out around the 382 in this case. Anyways, the time that we saw that before that was, yeah, back on over here as well. Very similar price action as well. We do see getting the cross right here, basing upon the 377, and then there's your next failed rally, essentially around the 200 simple moving average. Now, I'm curious to see where this one actually did top out from the prior high of that run to the next one. This one actually topping out a little bit more around the 618, but what if we make that in relationship to the prior all-time high? That's going to be even weaker in this case, about the 236, you know, both relevant, obviously. But I'm curious if we have one more example other than that. We do have an example right here, although that's not in the same posture, to be fair. I want to see it after like a major mega rally, and we see the same thing over here as well. Actually, you know, all the same scenarios essentially. We do see cross into the downside right here, essentially bases off the 377, an initial move below, and then puts in a bit of a bull trap a little bit later around the 200 simple. And this one actually did happen at the 382 as well. So we have a couple of those actually doing about the same thing. Unfortunately, we don't have too many iterations other than that, but if we do look at this right here, what would that essentially imply? It essentially implies that we probably do, you know, maybe do a bit of wick fishing below the 377 in this case. In fact, all of those examples did actually have moves below there first and foremost, and then I would be looking for something resembling like an actual bull trap. Where can that happen? Well, traditionally speaking, we did see that happen somewhere around the 200 simple, which will be rising up into the mid to low $40,000 territory, depending upon how long this actually does take. We do take a bearish retracement, assuming that this is actually going to be the low somewhere right around here. That would actually be right around the 382 as well, at about $43,000. So fair enough. I was postulating before that that a likely bull trap would probably happen between the 0.5 and the 618. Technically speaking, though, in more weak markets, you will see it top out around the 382. So this actually could be a little more weak than what I first considered. And, you know, all of those iterations actually have led to further continuation downside moves. Anyways, with that said, let's go look at the short-term time frame. Short-term time frames here. Let's see what the 4 hour looks. I mean, the 4 hour looks like shit, to be fair. I mean, it is closing on new lows, so there's no more excuses to really be made about this. As far as as far as this being maybe accumulation or some sort of a trappy trap, you know, if it's going to be a trap, it's going to very likely move lower. And technically speaking, if you were looking at this as something resembling a triangle here, which could you make the argument for that, you really wouldn't have the right volume signature for this if it was going to be represented as a triangle. But just to keep some tabs on it and see if it kind of lines up with anything else. What do we see around here? The measured move on this would actually be pointed down around about $30,500 to $31,000. So if I had to say it right now, do I think that we bounce somewhere right around there? Probably yes, and perhaps that is where that next sort of trappy move comes from. And again, I would express great caution, anywhere around the top side of this range right here. So ultimately, things are starting to actually change around quite significantly here, and show some tangible results. So with that in mind, let's go check out momentum oscillators over here. This would be Ethereum. I don't want to be looking at Ethereum right now. It's not relevant. yeah, we do have the 3-day closing later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And that while this is, very much beat up down here, to be fair, it will actually be crossing to the downside once again with any sort of a closure below $37,000. I would say that that's looking a little bit likely right now. $4,000 away, or clean $4,000 away right now. And with BBWP getting up there as well, I do think that we are getting around another bit of a basing area, but does that imply a little bit more short-term downside first? Probably yes, assuming that all holds true. 2-day also did the same thing. This one was obviously confirmed last night. We did close below $34,000 and continues to move to the downside. And I think daily did the same thing as well. In fact, yes, it did. So daily rejected the bearish control zone, the bullish control zone in this case, and will be remaining to the downside as far as momentum goes, as long as below about 37,850-ish region. So overall, problems across the board. It looks like even the 4 hours freshly turning down here, 3 hours fresh, or not fresh turning down, but turning down nonetheless. Bi-hourly is all the way down there, and then of course hourly is kind of flip-flopping around a little bit as well. I see that comment over there. Felix says, hi, which is the put call market website you use? Yeah, man, it's this one over here. It's called Coin Options Track. If you just type in on Google put call market ratio, put call ratios Bitcoin, it should pop up there. And again, it'll be on Coin Options Track here. Actually copy and paste this into the comment section here if you are so desired. R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Don't tell me that he died, man. Don't joke about that. But yeah, man, a very, very good resource right there. If you are so inclined. Anyways, okay, cool. So we got through that. What else do we want to be talking about right here? Again, another thing that does kind of lead me to believe that this next move to the downside probably does turn a little bit trappy is the volume signature on this as it is right now. We still haven't really seen like a major point in a volume as you would expect on like a mega macro breakdown just yet. So overall, I am inclined to say that this probably does again put a bit of a bounce in somewhere right around here, and then put your fucking hands together for Boolah Jesus at that point, because anything below $50,000 very likely does set up Bitcoin for another move, another drive down long term towards $25,000 and $20,000 respectively. Should be pulled out over here as well, seeing as we are going to be closing the quarterly at the end of this weekend as well, or sorry, not at the end of this weekend, but at the end of this month. Let's see where we're kind of at right now. I'm just out of curiosity here. Yeah, we will be losing a lot of things, assuming that we do close something like this, but still 22 days left to go. What's a little more concerning to me is actually the bi-monthly. The quarterly you could look at as a backfill and potentially back up. Let me actually throw on the 10 simple here as well. There we go. But it should be denoted that bi-monthly, we close like this. This will be regular bearish divergence, and at the very least, a target towards the 10 simple will be initiated, and that is currently hovering around 22,400 or so. It does rise up rather rapidly. We do see it pop up about $2,000 to $3,000 from the last tick coming in from March 2021. So that could very well come up somewhere around about 25,000 or 24,000 bucks as well. So assuming that does actually confirm in this case, then yeah, I would be looking for probably July to trade back down around there, and that's going to really destroy a lot of hopes and dreams, I imagine, as well. Anyways, let's see. I see a few other things going on over here. Yeah, man. So that was also actually really throwing me for a loop yesterday, Scott Carney. So Scott Carney is talking about NASDAQ making new highs and Bitcoin dumping. Very, very interesting stuff over here. I mean, NASDAQ is just it's melting once again to the upside. And this is looking like it wants to continue to not just test around the prior all-time high, but probably make new all-time highs in this case. Did we actually hit 14,000 yesterday? No, we did not. Again, really concerning right here, because the bifurcation that we're seeing is Bitcoin bifurcating from what you want it to be tied to right now, or at least for the Boolah's hopes. Also, SPY futures, I think, are getting a bit of a... No, actually, they're not. Did we make new highs on this one? I think we just maybe barely did not. 42, 34 spot 75. Yeah, just about a buck below, but overall, coming back up to that region. I do imagine that this will very likely make new all-time highs probably sometime this week, if not next week, extremely likely. And same thing on Dow Jones over here as well. So actually Dow Jones getting a little bit more rotated to the downside, it seems like. So we do have rotations in effect. NASDAQ's leading right now, followed by SPY, followed by Dow Jones. Anyways, are stonks toppy? No, well, at least, it depends what you're looking at. But as far as major indices go, I'd say we're still looking at rotations, at least for now, man. It's difficult for me to get bearish on any sort of like, if you're going to be talking about top-end stocks, I'm going to interpret that as within the context of like a macro trend. And I'm just never going to be bearish on a weekly uptrend right here. And to be fair, I mean, this looks like it wants to pop back up somewhere around 14,000 bucks and probably make new all-time highs. I still think that long-term, this probably does hit 15,000 bucks before we do see a macro top. And at that point, hold your breath once again. But it looks like Bitcoin probably does lead this party to the downside. And right now on the short-term time frame, it looks like we will be seeing further continuation. So I forgot to mention this, or I think I briefly mentioned this at the beginning of this video right here. So yesterday the bias was, as long as Bitcoin was about above about 35,500, we did still have a bit of a bit of a hope and pray situation right there. The second we took it out right there, as you can see, just complete fucking meltdown. So overall, not looking good, baby. Not looking good. And let me see where my chats are coming in right now, because I think we can maybe get on over to that. Actually, rather simple as far as the general analysis goes right there. I'm very curious to see what some of the stronger alts look like today, but I imagine they're very likely following Bitcoin. I imagine they're extremely likely following Bitcoin. So let's see how they are going. But let me get to the chats right now, and let's see. Let me jump to present. There we go. All right. Brizzy Beast is trying to just announce this banning Bitcoin again, the second time in 2 weeks. Nice one. The lizard people control Bitcoin. That's right, they do. Oh wait, that's right. Someone wanted to talk about the death cross. Okay. WASD said might range lows. Not worried about death cross. Yeah. Okay. So let's actually bring up exactly what you're speaking about first. Okay. So I imagine when you're talking about the death cross, you're probably talking about simple moving averages. Now, I actually prefer exponential moving averages for this particular cross, but we'll look at both the exponential and simple in this case. So I'm going to take off everything except for that. And let's actually make this, where's my, we can do the blue as a 50 right there, and then I'm also going to put on a 55 right here. So the green and the purple, that's going to be exponential. The white and the blue, that will be simple. Anyways, what a lot of people are talking about is this impending death cross coming in right here. Now, the problem with this death cross is that it's a little bit too far away from price action. Ideally, on a death cross, or any cross for that matter, you want to see price action pulled into the cross and then spit out. That's your confirmation that it's typically going to work out. And let me just give you a few examples for this so that you can see for yourself. And well, I mean, to the upside over here on a golden cross, you can see that plays rather well, but we're talking about death crosses right now. We're talking about this right here. That would also not be the best example. That one actually did happen a little bit afterwards. In fact, this one happened much after the lows were even put in. So this is kind of my problem with a death cross that is very far away from price action. Keep in mind, this crossed way over here. That would be 14th of March, of course. And 14th of March was, well, low was in, and we were actually not going lower pretty much ever again after that, at least towards that low. Yeah, after about a 45% bounce. So when you're that far away from price action, it's usually not going to have great results in my experience. Let's see if we can find some good examples over here. Let's find some examples that are relevant to kind of the similar price action that we're looking at right now. So what is that criteria essentially? That is coming off of a like a mega macro rally and having that first reversal essentially. So this area over here would kind of fit the bill in this case. And what do we see? Do we see a death cross right here? We do. This one happening though, again, very far away from price action. And as you can see, yes, price action did range on the lows a little bit, kind of what I'm looking for Bitcoin to do a little bit here, and then puts in, essentially your bull trap, which gets sold into this one. Very, very nasty right there. I know that there's a few examples in 2018 as well. We can see one right here. Again, very, very bad example of one. As you can see, price action is a little bit too far away. And this one, somewhat similar to what we're looking at right now as well. And eventually Bitcoin did put in the bull trap. And then that's when the actual price action did come down. What you're looking for is something more like this. When price action is very, very close to the cross itself and it rejects from there, that's your confirmation that it's going to work. And what can you do after that? Well, you basically just follow the 55 in this case. I'm referencing the exponential moving averages right here, the green 55 and the purple 200. That's really the cross that you're looking for. You want to see price action very, very close to it. When you see it this far away from it, a lot of the time you'll see a rally up into the cross area, and then you get your real test. So that's kind of what I'm looking for Bitcoin right now. I think that we might have another few examples way the fuck back on over here too. Okay, never got uncrossed right there. This one would be a good example of it actually just continuing all the way through, but that one was also relatively close to price action. Here's another good example of not being that close. We can see that actually this one happens right around here, does pop back down, puts in the bull trap at the 200 simple once again. So overall, we actually do have a little bit of different results with that, but it does look like Bitcoin, if it does want to play that out, I really like to see a rally somewhere back around it first to test it and then play it out as far as like a momentous move goes into 25,000 or 20,000 bucks. But for what is, but for what it's worth right now, short-term timeframes, yeah, I mean, it looks like we want to test a little bit short-term downside. Again, the measure move on the short-term timeframe pattern going on right here would be, yeah, right around about 30,500-ish region. So perhaps another drive to the downside right there, and then we could be looking at a bit of a trappy move, and then that's at the point when I'd probably be looking for like the real downside if it is going to happen. Again, I really want to see over here that open interest actually shoots up. I want to see that people actually putting on positions alongside an actual break in market structure. And right now we don't have that. And when you don't have that, you don't really have the liquidity to force these like rocket ship like movements, both the upside and the downside. And in this case right here, I'd really like to see it come up at least like $1 billion or $2 billion. At that point, depending on how much we get, and perhaps the more would imply a bigger move. At that point, I'd really start to consider like Bitcoin come down to, 20,000 or especially 25,000 bucks. Anyways, let me get back onto the comments over here. Let's see. Elsa just sent me a shit ton more. What's up? Oh, wait, nope, we already got that one. Hey, what's up, Miguel? Hey, man, hope you're well as well. Looking at this on Bitstamp or Binance makes a difference, but is it that much of a difference? Okay, so you're saying, you're asking is, okay, so you're saying that there's a difference between Bitstamp and Binance. But is that much of a difference? Let's see. I actually pretty much never watch Binance, to be honest with you. But we can pull it up over here. Let's just see USD. I imagine they're right there. Probably should actually look at this a little bit more. Why would it be calculated by TradingView right there? Okay, so you're saying that this is different than Bitstamp. First off, the question would be, is it different than Bitstamp? We are still trading. Actually, looks like we do have about $100 premium on Binance. But is this being calculated off of USDT? Can we just get like straight up US dollar, not calculated by TradingView? Why would it do that? Why would it do that? That's very strange. Let's see. Let me see if no, that's also not work. We have USD coin. No, motherfucker. It actually looks like they don't have a full-on US dollar pairing on TradingView, which is really bizarre, actually. I mean, we can see it on Binance US, but I suspect you're not asking about that one because that one probably has a lot less actual activity going on. We actually do see about $100 premium on this, on this price action over here, which is rather interesting, but you will see that naturally kind of fluctuate around. Is that much of a difference? I would say no, it's not. As far as all major movement averages and all indicators go, they're pretty much in the same posture right here. I mean, we're seeing daily TSI turn down. I think we see the same thing pretty much on Stamp as well, and that will actually confirm later tonight with any sort of a closure below 33,000 bucks. On top of that, we do see hidden bearish divergence on the last high. Now, I would say that this one probably doesn't have like too much to play out here, maybe down to like 27.5, but overall, yeah, man, pretty much the same chart. So I don't suspect that there's anything of significant interest between looking at those two different charts. I prefer Bitstamp because it has more history. So if I'm looking at a historical move that I want to reference from like 5, maybe 10 years ago, Bitstamp's going to have it. Binance will not because they were only around in 2017. Hey, what's up, Ophir? Didn't you mention in reference to the MACD histogram that you generally see the opposite happen as well? So you're talking about the histogram ideology that I was talking about earlier. Or sorry, I guess that was last week. So let me first make sure that we're talking about the same thing. So what I'm talking about on MACD histogram is that when you get to extremes, like you see right here, this was in February, obviously, you typically see an equal but opposite sort of move as far as the histogram go. So in this case, we got up to about 5,300 on the on the axis over here. On the other side, what did we get? We got down to about 51. And then you typically come into parity a bit. And as you can see right now, this is just kind of working it off. That was, to be fair, a decent bounce, but let's see. I mean, it's about 36%. Again, it's not the one that I'm looking for. It's not, it's theoretically not the bounce that I'm looking for at this point. So yeah, I mean, that's already over. I mean, we don't really have an extreme read on the weekly just yet. And if we're looking at actually we do on the weekly, but it is still in operation here. On the bi-weekly, we do not have that right now. So it's literally just freshly crossing down. Now, if you are looking at this to equate to a downside move on the other side, that's going to take some time, and that's going to take a lot of time. And let's just see if that did held true in 2018. We do see about 2,800 right there versus no, it actually did not. In fact, let's see if this is on the weekly. Just out of curiosity, on the weekly, yeah, it looks a little bit more right, so to speak. But man, that is coming down fucking hard right there. Jesus, man, Jesus, powerful bears. All right, let's see what else we got over here. For the membership program, is it you for mentor or is it someone else on your team? No, it's Jackie. You should definitely watch the video so that you can see that, man. Outstrong is just like definitely watching the video so that you know exactly what you're getting into, sir. You can also talk to him on Discord too, man. He's pretty much an open book. Are stonks toppy? I think we already addressed that. I don't think that stonks are toppy just yet. I think that they got another upside move, very, very likely. And then maybe after this next move, probably does top out at least for like, at least on like a daily or something. Goes into a more long form, what's it called? Consolidation. Let's see. Scott Carney says IQSTL or bullish targets. Let's see. IQSTL. I'm guessing this is some sort of OTC bullshit. Okay, this is okay. It's just IQST. Actually, it's fine. I don't have any issues with this chart at all. In fact, at least on the daily, I do think that it has a little bit of short-term upside back up to about 80 cents or so. This I don't know what this thing is, but I suspect it's probably not related to cryptocurrencies right now, but I would play this, I would play this one to the upside, at least short and medium term, as long as it maintains about the 45-cent low with targets up to 80 cents and then 95 cents respectively, depending upon which time frame you're looking at. Daily, regular bullish divergence coming off the lows right there. Daily TSI turning up as well. Yeah, I do think so. I would give the nod to the upside here, but I'm being thrown off by my damn moving averages right now. Let me put back on the old trustworthy ones. There we go. All right, lovely. Okay, now I don't feel like I'm so naked on these charts. Long term, I hate this chart. Long term, I absolutely fucking hate this chart. It's a terrible chart long term, but short term, does it have some upside? Probably yes. Fucking Lord, man. Yeah. What a fucking dog shit chart long term. But yeah, short term and medium term very likely does have some upside there. You could get long term bullish on this if it does start to pop back up above about $2, and at that point, you really don't have too much stopping you from like $25-28. But it's got a longer ways to go, man. And fair enough. Bots for the win says, how do I get a refund? I was told Bitcoin is going to $100,000. $100,000? That's fucking bearish, man. You're not telling me that it didn't go. You didn't hear $250,000? $500,000? $1 million? Oh, the prediction markets are going to be great this year. They're going to be fucking great. Reed Harvey says, Krown, will I continue to get my tendies or will the red dillies come for me? They actually will come knocking on your door and they will take and steal all of your tendies and all of your sandies without crusties. Medium term for a clove, please. Okay, FYI, short term is 44% of float. What do you mean 44% of float? Hey, best of you as well, sir. Okay, let's see. Symbol CLOV. And what is this? Clover Health. Okay, so this is a real stock, not naughty cryptocurrencies. Hey, popping above the range highs right there. Very, very good. I think yesterday we were looking for a move to about 10.5. I would extend that now, seeing as we did take out the high side of the last major rejection. And I'd be looking for an extension to about 13.25, somewhere between about 13.25 and 13.85 region. Long term, is this one going for like a macro reversal? I'm not so certain I'd say that just yet, but yeah, I would be looking for a continuation from here. This is looking good, at least for now. So still looking decent there. Still looking decent. Let's see what else we got, man. Hey, what's up, Craig Dis? Welcome to the cave, sir. Why is it doing it in Italian? Is that Italian? Benviendo. Benviendo, sir. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? Good day to you as well, man. Hey, all good, man. All good. It's biotech time. Okay, sweet. BCRX. You know what's funny, man? Someone's been spamming on my videos for like 3 weeks straight that BCRX is going to the moon. Let's see. Actually, it's looking pretty fucking good, to be fair. Looking pretty damn good here, actually. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it was like BQRX or something. It looks familiar, but this thing actually does look good for what it's worth. Daily RSI still says that we this breakout is pretty damn fresh. Let's see what the weekly looks like here as well. Let's see. Did you give a time frame on this? Oh, you're saying 30-minute and daily. Or are you? No, you're saying daily, weekly. Okay. Weekly's continuation, man. I still like this one long term, popping above, multi-year long highs, going all the way back to, what is this, like 06. I'd be looking for this one to pop up somewhere around short term about, we're pretty damn close to it, but like $18.5, $19, and then probably continues around this high right here. Long term, I do like it. This is just one very, 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 very long term accumulation phase. It looks like with all these massive higher lows. We do see a major change in behavior on volume over here as well. So I'm inclined to say this one probably does continue onwards and upwards. Yeah, again, somewhere around about $22. Probably does play a bit of a pullback there, and then perhaps does continue on long term, but that should take you for a while because that is a fucking monthly, and that's going to take a long time to even fill itself out. Anyways, since 30 minutes daily, yeah, we can look at that. Let's see what this one looks like over here, and let me turn on the alerts now too. There we go. All right, now I can get a little bit of a heads up on those. What is this one looking like? You're looking at 30-minute and daily, is that right? Do I have that correct? Yeah, I do. This one looks like the breakout is real. It is looking like a bit of a reaccumulation after popping back up. I'd look for further continuation above about 308, 310 region, and we do see rising bottoms coming in somewhere right around here. So as long as it's kind of following this, this area right here, I would be looking for this one to just continue onwards and upwards. You will have targets, assuming that it does resolve to the upside at around 335, 336 region. And at that point, I'd be a little bit, I'd probably be looking for a bit of a pullback from there. I'm not saying that it can't continue on long term, but this one does have one of those very not my favorite chart long term. I mean, I just don't like these things that just pump out of nowhere. I typically don't like that, but to be fair, I mean, you do have a bit of a reversal potentially in progress. You do have a low, you do have a high, you do have a higher low potentially right there. Anything above that 350-ish pivot, and yeah, you're probably looking at run at your prior highs at $5 or so. Okay, let's see what else do we have over here. Let me pop this out over here. All right. Cardano, yeah, we can look at Cardano. I'm actually very interested to see what like the top coins look like here. See if they're going to be following Bitcoin in this case. Again, I still don't hate the monthly on Cardano. I mean, backfill is just right around about what, 140? Yeah, 135, 140-ish region, of which we did get pretty close there last night. 147 it looks like. Let's see what the daily is doing over here. Yeah, daily wants to come down short term. It does look like it wants to make a little bit of a stab at around 140-ish region. I would be looking at that as likely to at least put in a short term bounce, seen as that would be a monthly backfill. But man, with the way that this is looking right here, again, I think I do think that best case scenario for Bitcoin bulls and just crypto bulls in general is just a range going on for like the next 3-4 months, if that. Well, maybe not 3-4 months now, but maybe like 2 to 3 months, more like. Anyways, looking at Cardano and giving a little more of a deeper insight. Let's see daily TSI turning down, not good, especially right around the bias point. Let's see what the 4 hours looking like. 4 hour looks weak as fuck here too. Maybe another anemic bounce, but where's your range lows right here? I mean, I'll mark off this area right here, 136. Jesus, yeah, and again, that is your monthly low. So I would be looking for a bounce somewhere right around there, assuming that we do get more continuation. All right, let's see. Can I get a Ric Flair woo for my woo Bitcoin Huobi daily? Let's see what this one looks like, man. Let's see. You're looking at it versus the Bitcoin parent. I'm actually curious to see. Okay, very interesting chart right here. Very interesting chart. I remember we looked at this one yesterday and we did identify golden cross on the forearm, very likely continuation to the prior highs of this rally. And this one, again, I don't know what the hell this thing is, man, but I'm not really bearish on things that are making new all-time highs. Momentum also is still bullish here too. Not very hard to hate. Very hard to hate, man. Daily's just continuing on right there. Daily RSI probably does get a bit of a short-term pullback, but that very likely does get picked up, man. This is probably one of the best charts we've seen today in the cryptocurrency landscape. I'd be looking at a natural structural base somewhere right around about 2,200 satoshis or so, and probably continuation implied. To new all-time highs. I mean, this is actually quite a good chart. I'd be curious to see what it looks like versus US dollar. If you happen to give a fuck. Nero Strutton says, bruh, will Matic pay my rent coming up? Matic USD. Yeah, let's see what this one looks like as well. One of the strongest charts that we have seen throughout this whole run. Is this one keeling on over as well? Yes, indeed it is. I'd probably be looking at this one to make a stab, assuming that Bitcoin does, take a little bit of a leg down here, somewhere around about $1.25 or so. Looking at the daily, what do we see? Yeah, it's right around the daily 55 there as well. I would be looking for a bounce there too. And to be fair, I mean, that still would be a higher low on the daily. Let's see what a weekly looks like. That'd be around the weekly. It's not really a weekly pivot. Let's see what the monthly looks like. Yeah, monthly, I'm still not bearish on something that looks like this, man. Long term, that is. So I would give it a chance around there, and I would be looking for a bounce somewhere right around here. Perhaps we've already even gotten close enough. We got down to about 136 there. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Yeah, 4 hours a little bit weaker. Yeah, maybe we do have another, the short-term drive down, but I would be looking for bouncies simultaneously, like around Bitcoin at around $31,000 to 30,500-ish region. The same thing would be applicable to this one, about $1.25, $1.30-ish or so. Again, I can't hate the higher term timeframes here. Like the monthly's good for what it's worth. So take that as you will, sir. Hey, what's up, Farshad? Good day, sir. Good day to you as well. IOU and Zip ASX. How about just one, sir? Daily and weekly, please. Hey, man, appreciate that. Okay, so you're looking at. Let's just see what we can find. What we can find over here. IOU Pay. That sounds like a Dumb and Dumber skit or something. Let's see. Okay, it is basing out at a high level here. These Australian charts are always so weird looking to me. They don't trade the same way that American equities do. Anyways, this one right here, yeah, it is putting a bit of a base. I mean, it is an uptrend on the daily as well, and we do see that this is probably going to get continuation, I imagine, on the weekly here too. It probably does pop back up short term to about 38 cents. I think, did we look at this one yesterday? remember something in the Australian market from yesterday. I'd still be looking for a move back around here. Bigger pivot right around about 45 cent. Probably does try both those moves, but how long does that take? I don't fucking know, man. I just remain more or less sideways and up on this one, as long as it's above about 28.5 cent in this case. Not a bad chart though. Yeah, not a bad chart at all. I mean, 4 hour does have a death cross, but I imagine the second that you see this pop above about 33.5, this will be a failure, and I would be looking for a quick run out wherever the 200 simple is, and in this case that's right around about the 37 38 cent targets, and rising obviously over time as well. Momentum oscillators are doing what? Daily TSI turning up, daily RSI bullish divergence. Yeah, I'd favor this one, putting in a bit of a low right here. See what the monthly looks like. I'm just curious. Yeah, again, I don't like the way that the monthly looks like, but I would give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, I'm not. I've just learned to understand that Australian markets, they just do weird things. They just do weird fucking things. Let's see. KT says, "Hey dude, hope you're well. Hope you're well as well, man. Would you please comment on Nasdaq, ATVI, Activision, daily, weekly? Sure. Let's see. Let's see how they're doing. Good old gaming company over here. Looking good. Looking very, very good. Looking very fucking good actually. This one's obviously getting reaccumulated right here. Do you have a bit of a range? It's right around the range highs, so do you immediately get bullish right off that? I'd want to see it actually break that. It is a little more likely to reject on this pass, but ultimately, not a bad chart. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, weekly's continuation here, man. This is a very good chart long term. I love these charts that just only go up. It's up only, baby. And yeah, this one, I'd be looking for new all-time highs probably over the next, over the next like 3-4 months. Short term though, this one's looking pretty damn good. Might even break it this week, in fact. And if it does break it this week, you will have a short-term target back around about 101 or so. Typically speaking, once you get back around there, it's probably gonna melt for new all-time highs anyways. But it's generally looking good here. I'm not gonna hate a chart that looks like this ever. In fact, I quite love charts like this. And if anything, even the monthly RSI is given a bit of an ascending triangle in the bullish control zone. That's typically a very, very good sign. I'd feel quite confident saying that this one does gun for new all-time highs sometime this summer. It's looking pretty damn good, man. Okay, let's see. Okay, we see Robbie Stainton. What's up, man? Please, Krown, I am poor. Sent a previous super chat. Wyckoff accumulation. Sorry, man. It's Elsa's fault. She hasn't been sending them to me. Let me. Well, you missed one, sir. Let's see. Let's see. I want to see if she actually missed one. Yeah, you did, because that's the only one that I see from Robbie. Maybe he's trolling, sir. It's all on Elsa, though. Just kidding, man. Okay, well, fair enough. But that's not him though. That's Farshad, and we just got that one. Okay. Do you want to look at ZIP? All right, I guess we missed it. We can look at that really quickly first. All right, zip on ASX as well. Not as impressed by this chart, to be fair. Yes, the weekly is still in an uptrend, but this one does look a little more toppy. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to come down for ZIP about 640, 645 region. Actually, this one looks like it could be in the midst of a long-term reversal. Here's what I really do not like. Okay, you're about to see daily TSI turn down. This is almost the same chart as Bitcoin, in fact. You're seeing BBWP ranging on lows right here. So the next expansion move probably does have a lot of a lot of feel to it. And on top of that, we do see that daily is giving us hidden bearish divergence for 1, 2, 3 drives right there. I don't like that, man. No, I'd be looking at least short-term downside, probably like 640 to 625. Probably another anemic bounce right there, and then does it actually keel on over long-term? A little bit premature to say that just yet, but at least short-term downside probably gives it another chance to bounce there and then come back to it. Anyways, okay, Robbie says, Wyckoff accumulation schematic 1 for Bitcoin daily, ST phase B. Okay, so let's actually bring up what you're talking about here, and we can move on from that. Let me get my old schematic out over here. Everyone's trying to fit a schematic on this shit. And let's see if it actually holds up. I imagine it probably does not. But first off, do you have a time frame for that? You do. You have a daily. Okay, so you're looking at this basically. I imagine you're looking probably at this. Okay. If this is what you're looking at, well, let's see. How well does this actually follow this? Well, you're saying that we're in a phase B right now, about to come back down around the prior lows. Okay, I mean, that would fit out, yes. But in phase B, you do make a higher high on a closing basis. Do we have a higher high over here for Bitcoin? I imagine probably not. If we go to the daily specifically, let's see. And let's actually put this on a line chart. This is going to be a little bit easier to see on a line chart. Whoops, wrong button there. Okay, there we go. And let me take off the moving averages as well. Okay, did we make a new high on the line chart right here? No, it does not look like so. 39,219 versus 39,309. So no, and let's see if that is consistent amongst all their major exchanges. Yep, same thing on Finex. It's going to be a lower high. Yes, same thing on Coinbase. 300 versus 250. Yep. What about CME? The one chart that matters the most. This one actually looks pretty nasty. To be fair. Let's see. 39, 38.5. Or sorry, this one would be 39 versus 38.8. So no, I mean, technically speaking, you don't need to be exactly right there, but I do think that it's not wise to visualize price action before it's actually happened. So when you're looking at anything like this, and this is what I don't like about fractals. Look, you can find fractals in price action. The problem with fractals though is that you can't trade them with like an obvious risk reward type of deal going on, because where the fuck do you manage risk on a fractal? You don't know. You don't have anything that's standardized for that. It's just kind of like a general visualization, and a lot of time it's Jesus toast. And the problem with something like this is that, you know, you be in a phase B right here? I mean, you know, if you really squint your eyes and like make an excuse for it, perhaps you could say that. But what I would posture to you is that, look, when you're looking at a Wyckoff accumulation event or distribution event or anything that has some sort of like a general formula, you really want to see it once it's extremely mature. So in this case, you really would not call a Wyckoff until you're in about phase C, or especially phase D if you want to be super conservative. Why is that? Because this whole portion right here, it's very meaningless without actually seeing what's going on over here. This is what makes it the accumulation, not this portion over here. It needs to be this portion over here, basically in combination with the other portion as well. But my point is that without actually seeing this happen first, you can't say that. And more importantly with that, you want that to be true, or you know that's very, very likely to be true. Because when you're looking at this over here, well, what do you see? You are missing out on an opportunity cost, obviously. So if you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, this is a Wyckoff accumulation because I can just visualize this, even though we're only by your own definition. And again, I'm not picking on you right here, but by your own definition, you're like, okay, we're probably in a phase B. So I should just buy. Well, even if that is true, even if we run with the assumption that is true, and this is always a good thought experiment to do, like think about what would that imply if it is true. Would this be a good point to buy? No, absolutely not. The reason why it wouldn't be a good point to buy is because if you are playing the actual accumulation event, well, you're going to be losing out on opportunity costs. I mean, this is, going to take quite some time longer, and you have no guarantee that it's going to work out to begin with. For what it's worth right now, I do not believe that this is what's going on right here. If you were looking at the short-term timeframes, I think that you could have made that argument up until about this point right here. That's why the 35,500 level that we were speaking about over this past weekend was so important. As soon as 35,500 broke, you no longer really have that even short form accumulation going on. In fact, it looks a little more like redistribution, if anything. So looking at this right here, again, man, I'd have to say I respectfully disagree with that. I mean, even on a 4-hour time frame, it's it's not looking too hot, to be fair. But again, there will be bounces, and I would really like to see a bull trap at some point. But still, that's essentially what I say right there, man. Unfortunately, I'm trying to give you some hope and prosperity on this side. Unfortunately, though, looking at this, I am getting less and less enamored with this price action, man. Again, it's hard to ignore these signals right here. We do see daily TSI is about to turn down. Yes, it is in the very critical zone, so it's going to be difficult to keep up that momentum. But can that align with another drive to the downside first, like 30,500 or 31,000 bucks first? Probably yes. And then how do you fit your schematic on that? Like, that's my problem with fractals. You can't really manage risk off of just that alone. You need something that's a little more tangible. So, maybe if you match that up with, typically structure in this case, that could be helpful. But at the end of the day, then you're still trading structure anyway. So it's like, just simplify is basically where I come from. And I would have to say, I don't think that that's what we're doing here. No. The key indications would be on volatility. The key indication will also be on the hidden bearish divergence call right here, and daily TSI also turning down on basically a continuation drive thus far. It really wouldn't even be possible until probably later this month, where we'd even have that as like a legitimate analysis for like a Wyckoff accumulation. And that would be assumed, and like we're making a major assumption right now anyways, that Bitcoin even bounces and tries putting a low somewhere around like 31,000 bucks, we'll call it. All right, sweet. Okay, let me move on down this. Let's see. Okay, we got Mr. Ciano. What's up, Mr. Ciano? Hey, Krown, just wanted to suggest, after looking at Bitcoin, could you spend a minute on Dixie? Yes. As the inverse correlation on short-term timeframes seems to be strengthening. Let's see, because I would actually imagine that is Okay, well, first off, define short-term time frames. I mean, we can look at the daily moves, and that actually would hold true. Let's go over here. Where's my Dixie? Where's my Dixie? There it is. Found it. Yeah, Dixie bouncing off the low side of the range once again. I do still stick with what I've been saying here. I do think that we bounce up to about somewhere around 91 bucks before this is all said and done. Long term, I'm still pretty damn bearish on this, though, to be fair. Anyways, okay, so if you are looking at this, given what you just said right there, you would have expected over the last 1, 2, 3 days, Bitcoin should have been going to the upside, like significantly. I mean, these were, for what it's worth on Dixie specifically, decent moves. Of course, let me throw on the major move numbers here too. And matching up with Bitcoin, if we can just, I don't know, do we go over to this chart over here? Yeah, we could use this one too. We don't really have that. In fact, the last 3 days, we've just been kind of gliding to the downside. So I'd have to say I humbly disagree with that one as well. I'm really only interested in macro moves here. And the way that I look at this on the macro is that we are setting up very likely for a bounce off this region. However, I imagine that bounce very likely does get rejected. So what does that align with? Does that align with Bitcoin maybe going down, taking a little bit of a trip below 30,000 bucks first, and then we do see a bit of a bounce? I think that's a little bit more likely here, to be fair. But if you go down to the daily and you're just looking at it one-to-one correlation, not covariance, obviously, because they're not moving in a one-to-one metric there as far as price action goes, but even just going off of that, no, that would just not hold true. In fact, they're trading together, if anything, which I would say is probably false anyways. Again, just look at this right here. Last 3 days we're down. What do you look at? What do you see on Bitcoin? I mean, it's basically right around the lows as well. So I'd have to say no. I don't think so. I do still believe that Dixie is long-term bearish here. I mean, the only chart that I really need to see on this one is like the bi-yearly and then the yearly. I mean, this is a fucking phenomenally bearish chart. But this is obviously a 6-month chart. This is going to take a long time. I mean, this could take a couple of years to come back down, maybe even base out at like mid to low 80s, which would be absolutely fucking devastating for my poor sweet dollar. But how does Bitcoin survive, or how does Bitcoin operate within there? I mean, that's just too high of a time frame to really be making any sort of accurate judgments on. Looking at the yearly, I mean, the yearly is even worse. If anything, I mean, we took out the last local low on the prior yearly close. So I'd have to say this one does, alongside hidden bearish divergence over here as well, probably does work its way down long term. But then again, you got to be asking yourself, do these have inverted correlations on the short term timeframes or the higher term timeframes? I do think on the higher term timeframes, yes, but on the on like a daily right here, no. I'd have to say no. And I think that the Fed just started talking about raising interest rates relatively soon too. So that's also not going to be interpreted all that well for the old cone there, I imagine. Anyways, KT says, oh wait, no, we already got that one. Okay, we got that one too. We got Clove. Okay, let's see. Neurostrudden, we got, yes, okay. Okay, Neurostrudden says, bruh, can the biweekly MACD cross of death be validated even with a potential bull trap coming up? Can it be validated even with a potential bull trap coming up? Can we have both? No, that is what it suggests. The biweekly MACD has always led to a bull trap above the 9 exponential moving average on the biweekly before further continuation to the downside. So I think perhaps I'm not relating this concept clearly, but basically the cross that you get right here typically does not immediately actually align with more downside. Typically it will, or actually in all iterations that we have seen in the past, it will align with a bounce first and then the downside. So that's why I do still kind of hold out for something resembling a bull trap, preferably in like the mid $40,000 territory. That would be perfect as a 9 exponential average is currently right around about actually, whoa, it's all the way at 41.5 region, but we typically do get it above it, to be fair. And again, same iteration over here, same iteration over here. So maybe I'm reading that question wrong. Hold on. Does the biweekly MACD cross of death, or can it be validated even with potential bull trap coming up? That would validate it, actually. That would validate it, in my opinion. Again, I don't think that Bitcoin has significant downside below 30,000 bucks before putting in like a legitimate bull trap. You still need that liquidity for a downside move. BJ Das says, can you look into Chromia CR USDT? Okay. CHR USD. Is this it? Chroma. Okay. All right. Fair enough. On Binance. Let's see what this one's got. Let's see what this one's doing over here. Looks pretty downside angled. Looks pretty bad here, man. Let's see. I want to see it on my regular charts as well. CHR USD. We'll go to Binance for this one. Yeah, this one is certainly not immune from Bitcoin's movements. In fact, you do see actual volume pouring in on that downside break there too. I mean, you'd be looking at something like this prior to that break. And what do you know? We just broke that right there. Can we make a measure move upon this? I don't know if I'd fit it like that, honestly. No, I think you just got your range highs right here. Something like this. And breaking down to this level right here. I mean, it's probably going to bounce short term right off here. But your next major level to the downside, assuming that this does get continuation, which it's looking likely, as far as momentum oscillators go, would be somewhere right around about 15 cents or so. Let me go back to this chart right here. Yeah, and that would be right around the bottom side of the 200 band on the daily as well. So yeah, I would probably be looking somewhere down around there. Daily DMI minus about to get dominant there too with the ADX strengthening. Not good. Daily MACD looking like it wants to cross down soonish, but I think we'd still need at least another couple days there. Yeah, I don't even have enough numbers to actually populate that one out, but I'd have to say a humble no. Not a bad chart though, long term, to be fair. Let's see. How far does this one go out? Oh, okay. It goes actually all the way back to 2019. That's almost a fucking dinosaur in this market. But yeah, man, I do think you played a little bit more downside first before any sort of meaningful bounce. Rami says, "Hey, Krown, can we look at Cap R daily weekly?" Okay, Cap R. Okay, Capricorn. Okay, some sort of biotech. It looks like. Looks good here. Hey, fresh short-term breakout, trending above the top side shoulder band. I always do like that. I'll be looking for a bit of a continuation drive towards the last high of this area. Be right around about 468 region. Probably a short-term pullback from there, and then potentially continue. And then if you do start to see this level get closed upon, you can extend those targets all the way back up to the prior range highs of like 575. Here's what the long-term looks like here too. Long term, I don't like it. I always hate charts like this, but I do think that you have short term and medium term upside. Big pivots again, right around about 430 and then 469 respectively. Above there, you might even see another run back around $7. But long term, I do not like this chart. I suspect that it is likely lining up for another macro lower high. In fact, looking at the monthly right here, yeah, terrible chart, absolutely dog shit chart. But short term very likely does have some upside there. All right, sweet. Craig Dis says, oh wait, no, did we get that one? Yes, we did. Come Rocket, Cummies BTC on the hourly, please, sir. Coint Tiger. Let me see if this pops up on TradingView here. It does. Holy shit. Okay, it is real. Oh my god, it is real. I thought this thing was bullish though. What the fuck? Oh man, it's literally only been around for like 7 days. Hasn't made one trade today too, it looks like. Let me see. Can I pull this up on like, I don't know, can we get this on like CoinGecko or something? I don't know. They'll probably have it, I imagine. Let's see. Cummies, right? Literally called fucking Cummies. Interesting. Fucking interesting. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know. Let's go to, how long has this thing been around? This thing's been around since what? May. Oh, okay. So we got a whole month of history here. That's really good. Don't like it. Another lower high right here. I don't know, man. I don't have an opinion on this, to be honest with you. Looks like a pump it up to me, though. Anytime that you see something like this and then comes all the way back down, one's probably going for the full retrace as well. Hard chart to love, but not a whole hell of a lot of history to really be going off of. All right, Bitcoin. What's it going to be, sir? Come on, Bitcoin. Make my day, fuckface. Shibley says, Elsa likes that. Shibley says, good morning. Hey, what's up, man? Can we look at SFET? SFET, okay. This one's a new one for me. SFET, okay, this is a real thing. All right, it's on an Israeli exchange and NASDAQ apparently as well. That's quite the thing. Short term, yeah, it does have some upside here, but I can already tell that the long term I'm going to absolutely fucking despise, and I definitely absolutely despise the long term. Yeah, this thing looks like it trades like a pink slip or something, but short term, does it have some upside? Yeah, very likely. Let's see, what time frames were you actually looking at? Please look at daily, weekly. Ask Blaster on Discord, promise $60 soon. Just want to make sure we are still on track. No. I do think you have maybe a short-term move back up to like 150 or maybe in as much as $2, but it would appear to me that that is quite unlikely at this moment in time. Holy shit, man. $60? Like, if you're going for $60, why not just extend that all the way to 250? Why not even 1,000, man? It's basically the same. It's basically the same level away. Okay, that's literally. Well, the good news about this one is there is some good news about this one. Look, the next 144-cent move, it will definitely be to the upside. 100%, no doubt in my mind. However, I can't promise the next $1.43 will be to the upside. Take that as you will, sir. still another few bucks away from 60 as well. Hey, what's up, Katoshi? How you doing, man? My cave review. Spoons came 10 minutes late, were cold upon arrival, kitchen staff was extremely loud with the dishes, and front of house was making fun of Asian accents. That is not true. That is not true. I have the full respect for all Asians and all people of all colors and creeds. It doesn't even matter what what the content of their character is, man. They could be fucking Hitler, but if they're Asian or black or anything that is not white, I'm in, baby. I'm fucking in. Black Hitler, he's the real Jesus. Oh dear Lord. Now I'm definitely getting banned from YouTube. God damn it, man. Okay, maybe you should stop saying shit. Anyways, okay, so maybe you should stop talking. Yeah, man, I have not made a good impression on this video, that's for sure. Nate says, can we check out SKLS? All right, let's see what Nate has up his sleeve today. SKLS. Skills, hey, not bad. Not cool meme type name. Actually, man, you have a real knack for calling these charts, man. This is good. Or at least good for now, man. I do think it probably pops back up to the prior breakdown level, somewhere around here. Short term, very likely like 24 bucks. Big area right around here at about 27 bucks. Now, I'm not necessarily convinced, Nate, that this one's like fully accumulated for the long period of time. You know, I think you could very easily reject somewhere in here, come back down into the accumulation zone. But long term, this is one to keep an eye on because it's very obvious that some big player is accumulating this. Yes. How long does this take though? Well, oh, this is a 4 hour. So this is actually okay. This is completely different than what I was thinking. Let's see. Did you give me a time frame on this? Daily, weekly. Okay. So if we look at the daily, yeah, I would be looking for an extension back up towards about 24 bucks. Is this one ready to rock and roll, though? Is it? It's kind of a young chart, to be fair. No, I don't think so, man. So this is a parabolic blow off top. I do think you're going to get a bull trap somewhere in this range right here, and then come back down. Now, like I said, this is getting accumulated by some sort of a big player, but I don't think it's done just yet. I think it's rather unlikely that it's done just yet. But short term, yes, very likely continuation to the upside. And then somewhere in here, I'd be on some sort of lower high weakness watch. Let's see where we kind of come in from the last mega high there too. Yeah, so that'd be right around the 382, around this level right here. Not 0.5 is a little bit higher than what I postulated at, and then 618 is coming in all the way around 30, just below 32 bucks or so. Anywhere around there, I'd say is kind of like hotly contended. But short term, it does imply some upside, to be fair. Frank Saints, what's up, man? Bitcoin was not correlated to traditional markets when it came down from 20,000 to 3,000. Yeah. 2 years of opposite price action. Is this happening again now? No, I think I would. Hold on. Let me see if I'd agree with that or disagree with that. Let's first make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Okay, so you're talking about basically 2018 when Bitcoin came from about 20,000 down to 3,000. Is that right? Let's see. Yeah, 20,000 to 3,000. So that was December 2017 going all the way to December 2018. Now, I would say, I think I know where you're going with this, but let's just go line this up. Let's go bring it over to this chart over here so we can just kind of get them nearly side by side. I know that you can actually make a chart side by side, but it's always a fucking pain in the ass. We'll do this one right here. Okay, let's pull a big old SPY. All right, we'll do something like this. Okay, so on the macro moves, I would actually argue that they were correlated. However, let's just hash this one out. Okay, so when was the big top out right here? This was February, or sorry, that was 2020. Yeah, we need to go back over here. Okay, so this is your February 2018 top, right? This would basically be Bitcoin coming down from 20,000, first basing off of around 6,000 right here. So they both come down on the macro scale at the same time. Now, what I would argue is that they do generally play out the same direction of moves, but they do not play out the same severity of moves. And of course, Bitcoin would be relatively weak in comparison to NASDAQ as far as general trend goes. So looking at this right here, yes, we do play out this downside move, topping out in January 2018, basically 1 week after Bitcoin topped out, or I guess about a few weeks after Bitcoin topped out right here. This would be, again, December 2017, January 2018 right here. And then Bitcoin comes all the way down based off this level and spends the next year going sideways and down. Looking at SPY futures right here, I mean, this one actually made a new high after that, so fair enough. Actually, no, you can't really say that. Kind of choppy trendless right there, then comes down from about September 2018 to your December 2018. That was obviously this portion right here. So Bitcoin tried to rally with it, did not get as high, obviously. But this one, was in a downtrend the whole way, whereas SPY was not. SPY was actually still carrying on with the uptrend up until that point right there, and then dumps itself out. So I don't think that you could even say that neither of those is really true. I would say probably neither of those is honestly true, to be fair. like if you're looking for an inverted relationship, because Bitcoin, while it was trending down there while SPY was going up, when they both actually dumped, like they both actually dumped. So on the mega moves, yes, they are, they are going the same direction, but this portion right here, completely different, to be fair. And then from December 2018 to, of course, like April, May of 2019, that was your rally from 4,000 to 14,000. So somewhat similar in that regard, but SPY just continued onwards and upwards until coronavirus dump time right here. Bitcoin, tried a few rallies within there, and then same thing. So I would say a little bit less so, to be honest with you. I don't think that they were actually completely correlated or inverted or inversely correlated on that, on those actual moves. Anyways, let's see. So again, to put it directly bluntly, I don't think that they were inversely correlated, but if anything, they were slightly positively correlated in that case. But Bitcoin obviously relatively weak in terms of actual trend in comparison to traditional markets. Super Guru Lily says Ethereum and Bitcoin daily, please. Yeah, let's check this one out, because this one was one of the more interesting altcoin charts here. Versus Bitcoin, that is. And again, I'm not going to be bearish on a chart that looks like this at all. There's nothing bearish about this chart, in my opinion. Monthly, again, I think this one works its way up to 0.11 over time, over the next few months here, rather likely. Weekly, just continuing on, we see a higher low right here at about 6 million satoshis. There's no reason, in my opinion, to be bearish on this one as long as it's above there. Now, of course, this does not imply that that Ethereum or Bitcoin are going to be going up versus US dollar. It's only their relationship to each other. But it seems like Ethereum is actually holding up relatively well. So perhaps this new EIP 1559, I think it is going to maybe spin off a bit of an event there. I mean, it will be deflationary, so perhaps perhaps that's what it's representing, as we do see the overall supply of Ethereum become deflationary in a similar vein as Bitcoin. Other than that, though, I mean, I don't really have any new opinion on it, man. It's still bullish long term. I mean, daily looks completely fine to me right here too. There's nothing bearish about this chart as long as it's especially above 6 million satoshis on a weekly, and on a daily 6.5 million satoshis right there. I'd be looking. I mean, this one even looks like it wants to pop back up. Would I say today? Maybe. Daily TSI just turned up. Daily RSI is kind of getting this short-term rejection by the bullish control zone, but ultimately, long-term, I'd feel a lot more confident on this one. Yeah, I do think that this one continues onwards and upwards, but again, that does not imply that that Ethereum goes up versus US dollar. It's just a relationship between Bitcoin. Let's see. Biz T says, hey, Krown, what's up, man? How about some dirty old oil? I fucking hate oil, man. I absolutely hate oil. All right, you want to look at crude light? Can we do $200 soonish? Let's see. DL, you're looking at a weekly and monthly, so you're very long term on this one. Oops, not this one. Hold on. We want something like this. There we go. All right, sweet. What the fuck? Oh yeah, that was the death drop in April of last year. Okay, for what it's worth, right now, yeah, we do have a reverse. Jesus fucking Christ, hold on. We need to stop this nonsense. Get me out the auto scale. There we go. Okay, so here's the real chart. Okay, lovely. Yeah, weekly golden cross just got confirmed last week on a new closing high, on a trend reversal, on a weekly. All these things matter. Would I be looking for this one to pop up to okay, well, $200 is kind of far away, man. I would feel quite confident looking for, this high right here, right around about $75. I don't know if I'd blindly say $200, man. Jesus Christ. Is it possible? Yes, but where? Hold on. You're saying $200? What the fuck? Can we do $200 soonish? Lol. Okay, maybe it's a troll comment. Look, if it does take out this prior major high in July 2018, yeah, I could get very bullish on this one, looking for it to come back up to like maybe $100, but $200 is very far away, man. I don't know if I'd feel comfortable saying that anytime soon, man. So if you're asking soonish, no, I'd have to say I don't believe so, but I do think that you have a little bit of upside here. The weekly does look like it's reversing, and the monthly is showing some signals as well. Momentum oscillators are more in a bullish posture in here. TSI and RSI both looking fine. Yeah, man, I'd be looking first at a move towards like 74. Let's take it one step at a time, and then above there, I'd probably be looking at about $100. Other than that, man, I'm not so sure about the $200 just yet. Maybe a little bit down the road. Maybe we talk about that once it gets to $100, assuming that it even does. Okay, Michael Crook says, hey, Krown, can we check out AI stock? It looks like it's going to bounce on the hourly. Okay, symbol AI. All right. I'm guessing it's this one right here. There's several of them, but probably the one on New York Stock Exchange. It looks like it's going to bounce soon. Or is that what you're saying? On the hourly. Okay, well, on the daily, it looks like absolute dog shit. I would have to say you buy bounces at your own peril. I mean, this is clearly a bullshit stock. Hourly, does it bounce from here? Let's see. What would you be basing this off of? I imagine probably the hourly 200 simple. I'm not a huge fan of it in this case right here, to be fair. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Look, the problem with this one is that all higher term timeframes are bearish. If you're looking for an hourly bounce, can you fit an hourly bounce within the context of like a daily downtrend? Well, yeah, of course. Where can this one bounce up to? You know, maybe like 63.5, maybe $64 if it really gets going. But I don't know, man. You play that one at your own peril, in my opinion. All higher term timeframes are against you right here. I mean, this is a very, very bad chart. I mean, this one's gone all the way from $180 to $60. That's not what a good stock does. And I imagine you probably will see this one base out around about 52 and a quarter to $53 before it's all said and done. Maybe even new lows too. But looking at the hourly right here, I mean, do you get a bounce right here? I think it's very likely to bounce to at least $62, and then if you get lucky, maybe 64. But I think I'll just leave it right there, man. Long term, I do not like it. Again, I do think that you play that one at your own peril. Anyways, Christopher Dominguez says, can you please take a look at NDAU? NDAU. Okay. This is a new one. NDAU. All right. Okay. Let's see what the fuck is this? What the hell, man? Holy shit. These shitcoins are out of control right here. This thing's only been around since, April 30th, to be fair. Hourly looks just like a complete monstrosity. Look, my problem with something like this, man, is that it's literally not trading. Like, if you look at the volume signature over here, if you can see at the top left, it actually goes pretty much days without making a single trade. None, nada, nothing, zilch. Daily is obviously an uptrend, but I don't know, man. I don't trust charts like this. I can't give you a good faith opinion on this. It's only going to take one seller to bring this thing all the way back down to fucking zero, basically. Because this thing, like, if you're looking at the actual volume signature of this, like, we're talking about like a daily volume of 40. What's it today? 0. No one's made a trade in this today at all. Yesterday, 131. 40 the day before. I mean, this is pathetic as far as that goes, but it is an uptrend, to be fair, man. I don't have a good opinion on this, to be honest with you. You don't want my opinion on this one, man. Unless you have like insider information, I prefer to stay away from things like this. Maybe the weekly has weekly is just a massive green dildo party. To be fair, it's the best chart that we've seen because it's just not going down. But hey, man, I don't trust charts like that. I suppose in that case you go with the trend, but second that someone decides to sell, man, it's over. All right, let's see. Elsa's being sloppy and late with it again because I see that there's already some over here. Let's see. Sir, you've already missed like 5. Or 3. Tree High says HNT BTC, USD is wonky. Okay. HNT BTC. All right. This one as well. Nope, no emails allowed, sir. Let's see. It's fine. I'm just giving you shit. Looking at let's put on Luxio for a second. I mean, it is an uptrend right here. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. Does it have some downside alongside Bitcoin? I mean, if it wants to play some downside somewhere down around about 3,500 Satoshis, where I'll be looking towards. But what's the weekly looking like? Weekly still okay, I guess. What time frame did you give me on this one? You did not. The USD is wonky. Well, I imagine the USD is probably going down as well. But as far as the 4 hour goes, I do think that it will bounce here. Probably bounce back up to like 4,100 Satoshis. I think more or less you're in a bouncy bounce territory. But I don't know what time frame you're looking at here. So I'm inclined to actually look at the US dollar parent as well, just to know. What are we seeing right here? Yeah, the US dollar pairing does not look good, man. This one very likely does come lower over time, but does that mean that the Bitcoin pairing goes lower? No, it doesn't. In fact, if it just goes lower less than Bitcoin, then it will naturally go up. But looking at the Bitcoin pairing once again, I would be looking for a bounce territory anywhere pretty much where we're at right now, back around about 4,100 Satoshis, and then play it from there. I don't really have too many bad things to say about a chart that's been mostly up for the entirety of its history, but this one's only been going back towards June of last year. So this one actually does have a decent amount of history. Yeah, I suppose it's one of the more respectable charts that we have seen today. Let's see what a 4 hour looks like. Or I was trying to put in a bullish engulfing. Look, if this one confirms as a bullish engulfing right here, yes, I'd be looking for another run back up. Somewhere around 4,100 Satoshis would be rather likely. Maybe even higher than that, towards like 4,200 Satoshis. But that's all being based off of the 200 exponential average and 200 simple actually acting as a bit of a basing point for right now. So if this, you got another hour and 37 minutes left on this one. So take that as you will. Again, I don't really know what time frame you're going for here, so I'm just kind of trying to guess what typically people are looking at, but 4 hour and daily, usually going to get it. So a little bit short-term bouncy, I suppose. Okay, Nate says, Pack B, daily, weekly, just waiting for Bitcoin resolution, then I can return to crypto land. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. I'm kind of doing the same thing too, man. I was considering taking a bit of a trade this morning, but it looks like I don't know. Do I still want that one? Maybe I'd like to trade it a little bit lower, play a bit of a bouncy bounce. I do think very, 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 very likely bounce around about 31,000 bucks. Anyways, okay, this thing right here, actually looking pretty damn good, man. At least for a little bit of short-term up, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up to about 32.5. Very good reaction off the 200 simple right there. Let's see what Mitch also to say as well. Yeah, they're suggesting a little bit of continuation here too on the short-term time frames. Popping back above that little last high right there is not a bad signal as well. What time frames are you looking at? Daily and weekly, okay. Daily, yeah, I favor a little bit of continuation right there. Weekly, same thing. It's a bit of a bullish reset here. I mean, the weekly TSI and weekly RSI both giving a little bit of a hint, as the weekly RSI is giving a hidden bullish divergence right there. A good portion of that move's already played out, but I do think that you get a little bit more extension over the next couple weeks, probably up to like 32.25 or so. Weekly TSI, I'd like to see curl around the bullish buy zone as well. Just kind of basing out there. Long term, yeah, very good chart long term, actually. Very good chart long term. It looks like it's getting its first markup after a very long form accumulation. So long term, I'd probably like it. Short term, yeah, probably does have another short-term upside move here. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, Poncho? My Buterol's USD, please, sir. Superman told me to hodl. Did he tell you to hodl? Oh boy, is he giving you a refund as well? Let's see. So Ethereum was one of the better actors right here, but is it immune from Bitcoin's moves? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's actually go to my Bitstamp chart on this one, or no, it's Finex. Got the longest running history. I'd be looking maybe for bounces somewhere around about 2350 to 2400ish region. I mean, we're pretty close there already. We got down to 2429. Where's the weekly at? Yeah, that'd be weekly backfill too. Typically that's going to be a good signal, but you got to start looking at Mr. Buterol on the higher term timeframes here. So coming into this month, we were actually still closing above the topside Toronto band, to be fair, and I'm always going to respect that until proven otherwise. But right now we are it's looking more and more like a long-term rejection right here. That is actually going to be really fucking nasty if that plays out. That is going to be really fucking nasty if that plays out. I really do not like this chart right here either. And by the way, this is what it really looks like on the quarterly on linear. Hard chart to love as it stands right now. But let's see, what time frames are you looking at? Or you don't know what time frames you're looking at. Let's see, what would be like the same sort of relevant regions that we see on Bitcoin? Ethereum next short-term bouncy there, I'd be looking somewhere right around here. Oh, looks like I already have them in there. Anywhere, it looks like we just briefly got into it, but I'd say down to about 2400 or so. Then below there, it's pretty much all there to about 2150, and then fucking pray to Bula Jesus once again, man. It's not looking too hot, especially on the daily. I mean, that last rejection yesterday is kind of the tell. For me, I could have very easily, or in fact, I would be bullish yesterday, looking at this right here. But based off that close, man, it's looking like it wants to come back down. Daily TSI turning down right now. Going to be officially crossing downside with any sort of closure below about 2,500 bucks. Daily RSI, not good. Hidden bearish divergence. Looks like it wants to make another run towards the edge of the bearish control zone. I do think that this one will kind of play to bounce alongside Bitcoin as well. But how far does it go down first? Well, the good news is it probably doesn't go down in relationship as much as Bitcoin, at least as far as the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing does suggest. But yeah, for right now, man, not looking too hot right here, especially with 4 hour even turning down freshly as well, right below the buy zone. Not a big fan of it, man. Not a big fan of it. So it really depends what time frame you're looking at. But I'd be more so concerned about the buy monthly and the quarterly. Like those ones are actually very telling, we'll say, very, very telling. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Mezwaz says, are you aware of the Tether conspiracy theory? I'm aware of the Tether conspiracy theory in the sense that like this thing's been, a big question mark ever since I started watching this space in like 2016, 2017. It depends what you mean by the conspiracy theory though, because like some people are just going off the fucking wall with this shit. Look, Tether has had like legitimate litigations against them by the New York Attorney General, by the I think the SEC and the CFTC, and nothing's come out of it in the last 4 or 5 years. Now, with that said, I have always expressed that I do not feel comfortable with Tether. I've never used Tether, and I have never used Tether. But if you're asking me about the conspiracy theory, the problem is I don't know which one you're talking about. I do think it's questionable, man. Personally speaking, I wouldn't put any money into Tether. I wouldn't fuck around with it. Doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. It's just, for me, it's an unnecessary risk. And again, nothing's really come out of all of the open litigations that they've had. So I'd figure, yes, the wheels of justice do turn slowly, but we've been talking about this for like 4 or 5 years now, man. It's like, how fucking long is this going to take? How long is this going to take, man? Elsa's having a little bit of a laugh party over there too. Elsa's shopping in the background. Hey, you can see her? You can actually see her. That's actually kind of crazy. Thank you, sir. I need some more shirts. Bitcoin for All Crypto says, hey, man, I enjoy your content. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Very much appreciate that. Rami says, Capar, we already got that one, sir. We can look at it maybe briefly again, unless if, yeah, it was Capricorn. Capricorn right here. What was this one again? It's an actual stock, so maybe it's doing something different. Let's see. Yeah, I'd be looking for this rally to carry on a little bit more here, somewhere around about 460 to maybe even $5. Again, depends what time frame you're looking at, but daily, weekly, both look like they have a little bit more short-term upside. Long-term, I hate this chart. Absolutely despise this chart, but short-term, you probably do have a little bit more upside. And technically speaking, the weekly does kind of have a bit of a higher low in place there too. Okay, let me get back on the comments over here, seeing as we're at the very bottom of them right now. Nice and slow day. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. As Bitcoin just slides down the stripper pole once again. All right, let's see. You love Cap. Who's, oh, we're talking about Amarnath now? Amarnath. Let's see. Okay. Yet here paid the fine and they can just operate in the US. Otherwise it's finalized. Hold on. What's Giuseppe talking about? I don't know exactly what he's referencing. I'm trying to pull up the prior comment because I feel like that was Tether related. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I can pull up anything that's related to that. Lisa T says, why does Elsa always sneeze? Actually, because we have allergies and because it's like really, really pollinated around here too. Oh, because you're allergic to me and my bullshit, sir. There you go. Oh, my ball sack. Well, I have been shaving it, so that should help out that issue. Elsa's watching Amarnath. Yeah, she is, man. She loves to troll the titty streamers. They're great. If Bitcoin closes below $30,000, is it going to dip more? Well, I mean, basically, if it goes down, will it go down more? Yes, very, very likely, yes. But I think the real question they're asking is like, how much would you expect it to go down? Well, first off, $30,000 isn't like the big pivot for myself. If you're looking at a daily specifically, I'd say $31,000 is your big pivot on this case. And yes, that would very likely set it up for more continuation of the downside. Again, targets to the downside are going to be about like $24,000 to $25,000 for the next like mega bounce, and then probably $20,000 after that. I think everyone's kind of looking at the same areas for that, so take that as you will. But I do suspect there's going to be a trap in between there. I actually do suspect that there's going to be a trap in between there for the same reason that we've been talking about for the last week and a half now. I'd really like to see a trap somewhere around the low $40,000 territory first. Make everyone think that it's a bit of a fake out, and then actually run it if it is going to run it in that case. At the end of the day, man, if you're waiting for $30,000 to break, I just don't think that that's like the most relevant point right here. I mean, you're either looking at the weekly or daily. If you're looking at the daily, you're looking at $31,000. If you're looking at the weekly, you're looking at about 32,000 and some odd change right there. I still think Bitcoin probably puts in a few wicks below, probably bounces back up, and then you play out your real downside. Can you check out T-Fuel? Why isn't it dumping? I'm actually very inclined to look at, I'm very happy to look at anything that isn't dumping, just because I'm curious to see what is doing something different. Oh yeah, that's right. We did see this one on the dashboard over here. It was the only winner from yesterday, in fact, as far as the coins that we do track. Yeah, pretty fucking good, man. Why isn't it dumping? I mean, because there's more buyers than sellers is the real answer. But realistically, this one's breaking out, man. This one looks like it wants to run for new all-time highs. In fact, it's pretty much already at new all-time highs. But what do we have right here? We have a fresh breakout, it looks like to me, and we do have a very obvious trading range, something like this. Could we make a measure move on this one? I mean, we could just probably pull up some fib targets, and let's see. Short term, probably it already kind of sold off on the 414 right there, but that's to be expected. I'd still be looking for this one to pop up somewhere around like 70 cents or so. This is actually a good chart. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Theta Fuel. Okay, so it's obviously related to Theta, I'm guessing. Theta was probably one of the better charts the past year as well, but I'm curious to see how Theta is doing. If Theta Fuel is doing well, what is Theta doing? Would we expect it to be doing well as well? Well, let's just go see. Definitely not as well, but doesn't look as shitty as a lot of the other charts, to be fair. This one holding up relatively well. Again, I do think it's very much relevant to be looking at the ones that do act well within this, with all things considered on Bitcoin, because if and when Bitcoin does turn around, or even on like a failed Bitcoin bounce, these ones are going to benefit a lot more. I mean, this is not a bad chart right here, man. Yes, it does have a little bit of short-term downside, but ultimately a big base right around about $7.50. I don't hate this chart actually at all, for what it's worth. It kind of speaks for itself when it's one of the few things actually doing something different. Okay, Najish has a really good question right here. Okay, so he asks, Krown, is the bull market over in your opinion for 2021? Okay, so this is a really good question, because we get caught up in the semantics of this sort of this sort of conversation all the time. It's like, is the bull run over? Is the bull cycle over for this year or whatever defined period of time? Well, I've actually been talking about this a lot with my good friend Mr. Elliott recently, and it depends how you define it. Look, Bitcoin's down 50% from its all-time highs. Do I say that the bull run is over, aka maybe entering into a bear market? I mean, look, it doesn't matter how you define that in sort of like terminologies, bull or bear, because a 50% drop is a 50% fucking drop. Problem is, you can have a 50% drop within the context of a macro bull market in in Bitcoin land. I mean, we have seen that before in the double bubble of 2013 and 2014 right here. This one dropped off actually even more than what we're looking at right now, but on a closing basis, we did get about 50%, I believe it was. Yeah, 57% right there. So it is somewhat comparable. On a wick-to-wick basis, we did get 75% right there. Now, would you define this as a bull market right here? Well, if you put it on a weekly and you're zooming it out, yes, you would. I mean, Bitcoin realistically didn't even really go into a weekly downtrend. In fact, I mean, if you're looking at this right here, where's your high? Right here. Where's your low? This isn't a low. This is it's not really low because you don't really have a stop and reverse point. You can't have two lows in a row. So here's your next low. I mean, so it's high, low, high. So this is going to be a lower high, and then just continues onwards and upwards. I mean, realistically, man, I mean, maybe we go down to like a 3-day, and that's going to be a little more relatable to that because it's kind of like way back there in history. And yes, on the 3-day, you see several highs and lows within this. So what I'd say about that, man, is like, it really depends upon how you define it. Because I do think that something like this is still possible for Bitcoin, where we essentially play out, a mega rally. In this case, we did see Bitcoin go from what? We saw Bitcoin go, let's actually do this on a weekly closing basis so we can standardize for this. We saw Bitcoin go from about what? About $14 to 160, and that was about an 1100% run. If we do the same thing for the past run over here, where do you take it from? First off, well, let's take it from where things actually based off of. That would be your coronavirus dump lows, and to the next major highs, that's about 1,000% as well. So somewhat comparable within that, governance. But again, man, I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't drop down like 50 to 75%. I mean, what do you call that? It's just my problem is the semantics of calling something a bull or bear. It's like, look, do we have more downside from here? Probably likely, yes. Does that mean that the long term, like the very long term upside is completely done for forever? No, I don't think so. And I mean, again, it depends what time frame that you throw this on. I mean, if you're looking at a monthly, Bitcoin's not in any threat of putting in a downtrend on the monthly anytime soon. I mean, where's your last low on a monthly? It'd be way the fuck back on over here. I mean, that's at $6,600. So hold your breath, baby. We got a lot of space to kind of fill up between where right now and there. So again, man, those conversations are hard to deal with because it more or less comes down to how do you define a bear market. In this case, I would say, traditionally speaking for Bitcoin, a bear market is when you have all daily moving averages trading with lower periods below higher periods. We are switching around to that posture right now. We're not there just yet. Or a weekly downtrend, or typically these things happen simultaneously or pretty much together within like a week or two of it happening. We technically don't have either of those just yet. On the weekly, where's your last, or sorry, let's just kind of chart this out right here. We have a high, we have a low. We have a higher high right here. This whole is kind of just one major, massive, complex top. And then where's our low? I mean, we don't really have a low here just yet, but as long as Bitcoin does potentially put in a low somewhere above about $32,000, $32,500, it looks like, you still do have technically higher lows. But problem with this is that the second that we come back down below here, well, there you go. There's your lower low, and you can imagine that this can come down to significant amounts. Again, even on the weekly, there's not too much in the ways of about $25,000. So while it probably does offer up a nice bouncy bounce, that one's going to be a little bit skeptical. It will look a little more likely angled towards around about $20,000 if that were to happen. But I still stick with what I've been saying for the last few weeks here. Look, I do believe that Bitcoin's actually ranging right now. Yes, things do look pretty damn bad, as they will when you're around the low side of the range, just like they looked somewhat okay around the top side of the range. At the end of the day, until we get like a conclusive break upon this, I'm inclined to say that Bitcoin's more likely to put in an actual bull trap before heading potentially lower. I really need to see that actual liquidity available to force price action lower. Otherwise, it becomes very, very difficult, to get like these more prolonged downside movements. I mean, you just don't have that metric over here. We're at about 6 billion open interest. That's not anything of particular interest, because what we saw when Bitcoin came down from about 62 to 63,000 bucks to about 30,000 bucks, we saw open interest come down from about, well, we can just look at it on the chart over here, but we saw open interest come down from about, I believe it was 14 billion. Yeah, 13.350 billion, that is. And we came all the way down to about 5 billion. And then off the lows, we've come up from about 5.25 billion to about 6 billion to where we're at right now. We haven't really seen too many people join back into the market is what that essentially suggests. So when you have something like that, I'm inclined to say that we do get some sort of a trappy move first, and then you get your real move if it's going to happen. Elsa keeps Krown's boomer divergence and control. He can't do it without you. It's actually kind of true. What's up, Rochelle? Ethereum was already down to 2150. Yeah, I do think that Ethereum probably does have a bit of a base somewhere down around there. Depending upon Bitcoin, if it wants to take another leg down, let's call it like 31,000 bucks or 30,500ish region. Yeah, I'd be looking somewhere right around there. I don't think that this is going to work out as some sort of a consolidation right here. It's not looking like so. Let's see what the 2-day and 3-day suggest. 2-day suggests a little bit of a bounce right here. 3-day says we can very easily continue after a bit of a bounce down to around your target. I'd say anywhere between about 22 and 2150ish region. Fair enough. It's 2:30 in the morning. Actually, no, it is 7:39 a.m. No, it's actually 9:39 a.m. Yeah, my computer is about 2 hours slow on the clock here. It's running off of UK time for whatever reason. Okay, sweet. Let's see what else we got. Yosef Buffo says, so does that mean you see this market maturing more? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I understand this properly. It seems this cycle is playing out differently than in years past, and I know it's the meme in the market that all bull cycles have to be the same. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. I think that people irrationally say something like that. Look, all of the prior cycles have had two things very much in common. We can see if you just want to make it super easy. Obviously, there's many other things to look at as well. But when we're talking about like long-term cycles, what I'm typically going to be looking at is trend on higher term timeframes like weekly and monthly, and then also look at moving averages. So from a moving average perspective, we want to see all lower periods trending above higher periods with a positive slope. For the weekly trend, we want to see weekly uptrend. And we do see that is consistent amongst all major macro cycles for Bitcoin. The problem is that people want to fit like a fractal between this over here and this over here, or like this over here and this over here. That I think is bullshit, and that I don't think actually works. And you've seen that, since the dawn of time, or at least, if you've even been in this market since like 2017, 2018 especially, you probably remember people trying to like fit on these goddamn fractals all the way down from like 16,000 bucks to 3,000 bucks right here. That's my problem with it, is that sort of thing does not work. So it really depends on what you mean by that. If you're essentially, what the fuck is going on up here? Hold on, I just missed that comment once again. Okay, there we go. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, then yes, I'd agree that is a complete meme. It's completely irrelevant. That is not the right way to be looking at price action. That is my big gripe with fractals. You can't be reliant on them, because you don't know if fractal is a fractal until after the fact. It just doesn't work for actual trading in my experience. I don't know anyone who uses fractals as like their main source of edge who's successful over a long period of time. I think that you could maybe incorporate fractals as like a second, or not even secondary, but like tertiary piece of your of your plan, and then still you're going to be trading off the structure anyways. So it's like, do you need to complicate things with that or not? I would say probably not, no. And I've seen a lot of people go broke trying to do that. So yeah, I think that kind of answers that, hopefully. Let's see. But basically your question was, does that mean that the market is maturing more? I mean, the market is maturing more, seeing as we just see more participants within this market, and we see that Bitcoin's getting more and more acceptance around the world. That is what I look at as a maturing market, yes. The other way to kind of measure a maturing market is, well, do we still have shit like cum rockets rallying up to the moon and beyond? Do we still have shit like doggy coin rallying up to the moon and beyond? Well, in that case, you can see we've still got a little bit of maturing to go. But overall, man, I do think that it's heading in the right direction, obviously, long term, if you're talking about just Bitcoin, the technology piece. But if you're talking about like the actual, these mega macro rallies, there are some characteristics that are very much consistent amongst them, but not in the way that I think a lot of people look for, in the sense that like it always needs to be this like little fractal relationship. No, I think that that's mostly bullshit. And I just don't know anyone who's like very successful thinking that way. Hey, YouTube, Mr. Tokyo Channel, you have a great day as well, sir. You have a great day as well. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything over here. Okay, we are good, sirs. We are good. Let me get back down to the chats over here. Tony Hawk bought Bitcoin in 2012. Really? Holy shit, man. That guy's at the top of his game. Holy fuck. I actually loved that video game way back in the day. Funny, man. I saw that he was at the Bitcoin conference as well, which is I guess cool. I don't know, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, if he was buying in 2012, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, that's one hell of a trade, considering that Bitcoin was at an average price of what? Oh my God, if we go all the way back to 2012, we can't even zoom all the way back around there. Yeah, it's in the single digits, actually. It's in the single digits. So good job, Mr. Hawk. Good job. Okay, let's see. MRMRF says, if you're buying, understand it can go down or up or down or up. Just don't put 100% in at a time. Yeah, I'd agree with that essentially. Look, man, you have to always understand that this channel is coming from things from the perspective of a trader. So, we like these sort of movements essentially, but I understand that a lot of people are going to be investors, right? Just people who are like looking to buy and hold essentially. And fair enough, that's a fair proposition. Especially if you're just trying to play like the asset game, which is fine, obviously, but understand that, yeah, if you do buy around here, I actually don't think it's the worst idea of all time. I think that opportunity cost wise, probably not the greatest idea, but if you're just going to fucking throw away the keys for the next 10 years, again, very specific criteria here. Again, if you're going to just throw away the fucking keys for 10 years, do you nibble a little bit at the low $30,000 territory? It's not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world. Understand that if we do start to check out these last major lows here, though, this thing will come down, and it will come down significantly. 24 to 25,000 bucks, and I don't suspect that's going to be any sort of macro low right there. I think if Bitcoin breaks below there, we ultimately will see 20,000 bucks, maybe even low over time. I mean, I want to see where the weekly 21 is right now. Actually, that is 25,000 bucks. Hey, fair enough. At least a big bounce there if things do break down. Okay, sweet. Anthony Russo says, hi, can you see Cardano coming back to 98 cents? Can I see it in a crystal ball? Can I see it? I mean, again, man, this one actually does have still one of the better charts, all things considered. The monthly is a backfill all the way to 135 region. I'm inclined to say, can it happen? Of course it can happen, man, but I'd be looking at a big base. Actually a little bit above there, right around 105, if anything. That is going to be your daily 200. That is also going to be your last structural low right here too. Is that close enough to 98 cents anyways? Yeah, it is. But what would be required to get price action back down around here? I'd imagine Bitcoin would certainly have to break about 30,000 bucks, and then we'd have to see Bitcoin somewhere probably around about 25,000 bucks if I had to guess, for Cardano to get down around that $1 pivot or so. For right now, I'd just be taking this one step at a time. Next level to the downside is going to be right around about 140, 142 or so. Remember, that is, what's that, a weekly level? No. Was it a monthly level? Yes, that is the monthly backfill there. So I'd at least give that area a chance first. And again, it really required Bitcoin, I do believe, to go down below about 30,000 bucks on like a daily closing basis. And then, yes, you could probably look at about $1 or so. Let's see. Tim B says, Krown, can you get that crystal ball out and give us some hopium long term for Matic 1 year plus? Well, the problem with Matic is that I don't think that there's enough history to really give you like a long term on this. Look, we barely, actually we do have a couple years here, I suppose. Yeah, we go back to April 2019. All right, it's not bad. Look, man, this is still one of the best charts in cryptocurrency lands, alongside Cardano too, man. Look, the monthly looks completely different to what you're looking at on Bitcoin, for example. Like these charts are night and day, no doubt about that. Here's the problem though, if Bitcoin comes down hard, if Bitcoin comes down, 25,000 bucks or 20,000 bucks, do I suspect that this one is not going to follow? I mean, that just hasn't been the traditional trend across this market since I'm aware of, essentially. But looking at this right here, I would be looking for big pivots back down just around $1 or so. If things really do come down, I'd at least give this one the chance. But if you're talking about like a year out, man, I mean, until this one actually puts in a downtrend on even on like the daily. Do we have a downtrend on the daily? Yeah, we do have a downtrend on the daily actually. We do have a lower high, and we could be gunning for a lower low. So it's actually in danger of putting in one. Below about $1, then you got some actual problems, and that actually would take out the weekly levels as well. And then you could probably look for big moves down to like 50 cents or so. Long term though, man, I think you give it the benefit of the doubt, all things considered. As long as the monthly looks something resembling like that, this thing can come down to $1, and at the very least, I'd be looking for a bounce there, to be fair, man. Long term though, man, it's difficult to give a long term analysis on something that's only been around for a couple of years when you're using like a monthly. Maybe we could use like a bi-weekly. Maybe that will give us enough. Still, even then, we can barely even populate any major moving averages. But for the history that we do have, it's decent. So fair enough. Let's see. Jack Frost says, Krown, do you think a wick lower than May 19 would confirm breakdown or daily close? Okay, let's see this. Okay, wick lower than May 19. So that would be this right here. You're talking about this right here. Yeah, so that'd be about 30,066 bucks. Let's see, would that be a wick lower than what we saw back on over here? No, that wouldn't. That'd be 28.8 versus 29,150. Pretty fucking close though. Hold on. I do know on some exchanges we actually did go below 30,000. Yeah. It depends what exchange you're looking at. Look, if you're looking at BitMEX, yes, I'd say so. Absolutely. Because that actually would be like, there's just no fucking excuses for this one after that, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. But it depends what exchange that you're looking at. If you're looking at BitMEX, yes. If you're looking at Coinbase, I don't know if I'd say that just yet. It certainly wouldn't look good though. I'll tell you that. Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, man? You enjoying this party right now? Okay. Okay, we've got Skylar over here. Sir, good morning. Hey, what's up, man? PooCoin me, please. CRO Daily. Okay, you have a wonderful day as well, sir. Let's see. This is the old crypto.com, the old, what is it called? Crypto credit card or crypto debit card, whatever the fuck. I don't like this chart, man. I'd be looking for another base potential right around about 10 cents on the weekly. Now, did you give me a time frame on this one? Yeah, you did. Daily, weekly. Daily. Do not like, maybe a very, very short-term bounce right around about 10.75, but ultimately I think that this one guns for the last prior low here, somewhere right around 9.5 cents, and then you probably get a weekly bounce off that. Yeah, I mean, it is a weekly uptrend to be fair, but goddamn, man, this thing just cannot hold a rally. I really don't like it when things do that. Maybe we go to a monthly as well and see what the very high-term time frame is saying. Yeah, monthly looks like absolute dog shit, man. I'm inclined to say this one does trade lower. At least short term, extremely short term. Short term bounce right around here after a little bit of continuation lower, and then probably does gun for your 23rd, 24 May lows. Okay, it's always good to see you, Mr. Rowe. All right, Brian Davis says LLY stonks 6 months. Is that what you mean? LLY. Okay, this thing right here. All right, and you're gonna look at a 6 month chart. All right, let's see what sort of history we have here. Oh yeah, pretty damn good. Yeah, very good chart. Very fucking good chart. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that this is a phenomenally good chart right here. Let's see what the log scale looks like. Yeah, looks a little more healthy there. Looks a little more sustainable, I suppose. Look, even the weekly is just freshly breaking out right here too, man. I'm inclined to say this one will continue to make new all-time highs. There's nothing bearish about this chart as it stands on the higher term time frames. Areas of interest to the upside going to be somewhere around about 250. Short term, looks like you already played off the 414. So yeah, next move to the upside, I'd be looking for a melt somewhere right around about 250 and probably play out a pullback from there and then come back to it after that. Let's see what the quarterly looks like here too. This one's going to be closing at the end of this month. Oh yeah, man, closing on your quarterly highs is usually not going to be bearish. Usually pretty damn good. Let's see what the very, very long-term extension is going to be looking like here too. Oh wow, yeah, okay. We do see a lot of them actually correlating well with what the more recent ones say. Yeah, about 250-ish regions where I'd be looking towards next. So fair enough, pretty damn good. One of the better charts we've seen today. 19,000 loading after 7,000. Oh, we're going to 7,000 now? Jesus Christ, man. God damn. Wow, that would be quite the call. I guess anything's possible in these markets, of course, but Jesus Christ, man. If you're just going to go down to 7,000, why not just go back down to like 2,000? Why not just really shove the red dildo in the old coffin there? All right, okay, I think I just missed a couple more right here. Sam Frengose says, XMR daily weekly, kind sir. All right, let's see what we got over here. XMR USD 250, yeah, looking a little bit downside goal there. Let's go down to the daily, see what she's got. Does it try another bounce at the 200 simple and 200 exponential average? Yeah, it probably does. Again, Bitcoin's close to a bounce there. It's not quite there just yet, so maybe one more swipe to the downside here. Right around about 230. Okay, you are looking at a daily weekly, but after that, I don't know. I still want to see an obvious bull trap. This one actually did have a bit of a bull trap right there. Could it be that the altcoins actually were the ones put in bull traps and Bitcoin just looks weak as fuck? Possible, I suppose. Possible, I do suppose. But this one, continuation, is going to be heavily implied below about 225. Any sort of a daily close below there, I'd be looking for 190, probably another bounce there, and then continuation perhaps long term. Again, it's going to be easier to look at Bitcoin, but weekly base is around about $200. It looks like if it wants to get around there. Again, I do think it's more important to look at Bitcoin here. Again, Bitcoin just seems to run the market no matter how bullish an altcoin's looking. Bitcoin wants to play at some downside, and altcoin will follow. Monero is no different in this case. So if Bitcoin does start to break below $30,000, that's what I'd be cognizant of. And then on Monero, you could look at some like I think it was $200 or 190, whatever it was, and then probably plays at a bounce from there. Let's see. Actually, do want to take a look at the monthly there too, just out of curiosity. Or Mr. Monero, where are you? Where are you? Found you. All right, so we got weekly right here. Yeah, we looked at that one. Okay, yeah, that one does look. This one actually is a bull trap right there. Let's see where did this one come in from? Yeah, on a okay, if we take the wicks, let me get rid of everything else here. Where did this one come in around? Yeah, the 0.5. Yeah. This is very interesting, actually. This is very fucking interesting. And did we take out last week's low here too? Yeah, we did. Jesus, man. Powerful. So could it be that we did already see the bull trap and it's just that the altcoins were showing it rather than Bitcoin? I'm still inclined to say that. I really want to see it on Bitcoin. Yeah, monthly levels, 200. Below there, you got about 169. Again, that is really only assuming that Bitcoin breaks down further, which it's... Still want to see a bounce somewhere around here. Just one little more, man. Just one little bouncy bounce more, sir. All right, sweet. Okay. Kevin fucking one says, hey, what's up, man? What's up, Kevin? KSM midterm. KuCoin has longest history, I think. Okay, I think I have it on my list over here. Okay, this is Binance. I don't think that we even need so much long term, unless if it's like a really bad chart long term. Let's see. Okay, you're looking at KuCoin. All right. Oh yeah, it does have a lot more history, and it's actually a better history here too. Look, is this one a good chart, all things considered? Relatively speaking, it's actually better than a lot of the other ones, yes. But is this one immune from Bitcoin's downside movements? Absolutely not. No. You got a nice little structural level right here, right around about $300. How does the weekly look like right now? Yeah, I'd be looking for another bounce somewhere right around about low 300, anywhere between about 300 and 320, 325 region. I don't hate this chart, man. I don't hate this chart as it stands. It's definitely relatively strong, but look, if Bitcoin starts to break below $30,000, I don't trust anything in this market, man. I'd probably be looking for this one to come down base around like $200 again if that were to happen, but it can range in here and it can still be considered okay, I suppose, just consolidating at a very high level, but god damn, yeah, that is now, I mean, we do have a downtrend in place here, right? We got a high, we got a low, we got a lower high. Second that you take out that last low, well, there's a continuation, and next target's going to be right around $200. And at that point, do you look for a failed bounce and even lower? Potentially yes, but I suspect that that's going to take Bitcoin, or at least imply that Bitcoin really moves below. Let's call it like maybe like $25,000 or so. Okay, we got Nate. Hey, what's up, Nate? 1T bear trap on total crap and bull trap two. Oh, you're talking about one. Okay, you're talking about total market cap. Okay, let's see what Nate's got over here. All right, so this is total market cap of cryptocurrency. Okay, so did we get a bull? Or did we get a? Okay, you're saying 1 trillion bear traps. That'd be. Oh my god, that'd actually be new lows, sir. That'd be new lows. That'd be way the fuck back on over here. And then bull trap to 2 trillion. 2 trillion was... Okay, 2 trillion is a little bit too high to be a bull trap. Look, if you're going to be looking for a bull trap on something like this, man, I would honestly be looking right around here. Actually, 2 trillion is pretty damn close to that region. We did top out thus far around the 382. Okay, so let's just run with your assumption here for a second. Do a little bit of mental masturbation. All right, so you're saying first, the total market cap goes to 1 trillion, which would be down around here, somewhere around the 377. Also your last major highs right here. And then if we take a retracement on that, where would we be looking at? The 618 would actually be coming in a little bit lower there, one spot 9 trillion. Could that be the way? Could be the way, but I'm more inclined to say that if we're going to put in a proverbial bull trap from this region right here, I'd maybe look for one more swipe of the 200 simple and then pop up like somewhere around the 0.5 and 618, and that actually could be 2 trillion to be fair. God damn, that chart looks like shit. Jesus Christ, Bitcoin, or Jesus Christ, cryptocurrencies. Looking at the weekly right here, yeah, 1 trillion does look like a bit of a magnet for price action. Jesus. I don't know. Should it be time to get full on gung ho bearish, front run this trend reversal right here and look for a move down to $25,000? I imagine that's where you get trillion on the market cap. Could be. I don't know. Hard to say without an actual crystal ball there. Let's see what other comments we got. We've been hosed, Tommy. We've been hosed. Exactly right, man. That's complicated pattern. I'm blushing. Krown, not pro at Wim Hof. It's true. I'm not pro at Wim Hof, but I'm trying to learn that. It's actually pretty damn useful. It seems like. Okay, let's see. Dreadlock says, hey Krown, I know it sounds crazy, but thoughts on the moon phase indicator Bitcoin daily? Just a bit strange how on point some of these local tops and bottoms are. All right, we'll bring out the moon phase again. All right, we'll do it just for some shits and giggles. I know I'm gonna get some shit even just for looking at this and mention its name, but hey, let's just have some fun with it. Why not, man? Why not? Okay. First off, let's see how well this is done. Let's take everything off so we can look at these charts as naked as possible. Okay, so have these actually been working out? Okay, that would be no. That would be... Okay, so these actually call the tops is what it looks like. So kind of. Yes. Okay. Yes, but please respond, Bitcoin. The next one is going to be the upside now, isn't it? Yes, kind of, not really. No, yes, no. Nah, yeah, I'd say no on this one, but yes on this one, yes on this one, yes on this one, no, yes. Yeah, no, I'd say no on that one as well. I don't think it's as good as what we might be. Oh, sorry, I'm on a weekly right now. Oh, apologies. Okay, sorry, I completely disregard everything that I just said right there. We need to look at this on a daily. Okay. All right. Again, I am not saying I would ever trade this ever. But let's just look at the results here. Yes, kind of. Yes. Kind of. Yes. Kind of. Short form right there. Same thing right here. Kind of. Yes. Not really. Yes. No. Yes. Kind of. Yes. Kind of. No. Yes. Kind of. I mean, it works. Problem is, this actually works out more often than it does not. That's fucking crazy. That's so fucking... What the fuck, man? I quit. I'm doing astrology now from now on. What the actual fuck? This actually works out more often than it does not. It's not perfect, obviously. I mean, this one does not work out right here. That is so fucking crazy. How the hell is that even possible? Well, the problem with this is that the next signal you're going to get is a moon, is one of these moons, and that's going to be further downside. That is fucking crazy, though. Holy shit. That is actually crazy. So what, are we going to get like a full moon tonight or something? How does it even work? So fucking, I feel like such a moron even doing this, but it's hard to ignore the results. You are right. I mean, if we're looking at this with a blind eye and we just looked at these like simple indications, how often does this work out? I mean, let's backtest like the last 10 signals. All right, so this one you could say kind of works out, I suppose. Yes. Okay, that's 4 for 4, 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 7 for 7, kind of. 8 for 8, 9 for 9. This is fucking ridiculous. I can't believe this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? 10 for 10. Short term, yes, this one did work out. 11 for 11. No. So 11 for 12. Yes. 12 for 13. Yes. No. So what? You have like 13 out of 15 thus far. That's fucking insane, man. That's fucking insane. 13 out of fucking 15. I quit. I fucking quit. That is so insane, man. I want to hate this idea so much. I have to be very, very open and honest with everyone here. I want to hate this idea. I want to think that this is complete bullshit. I want to think that this cannot be true. But I don't know, man. You tell me. If you have an efficacy of 13 out of 15, what do you say? I mean, we can even go a little bit more than that. This one worked out. That's 14 out of 16. This one worked out. That's 15 out of 17. This one worked out. This one worked out. This one kind of worked out. This one did not work out. So what you got? You got like 17 out of 20. Okay, that's 85%. You be the judge. That's fucking insane. That's actually fucking insane. But 85% is better than most things I've tested, actually. That is fucking hilarious. That is fucking hilarious. I can't actually believe that. But I can't even. That is fucking crazy. Yeah, I mean, 85%, that is tradable. And the next one is going to be a downside signal. Pyramids, aliens, I'm all in, baby. Where's that fucking witch on Twitter? I want to learn the astrologies now. Just show me the fucking moons, huh? Better than my trading range. Hey man, 85% is like nothing small. Like that. How the fuck do you explain that? How the fuck do you actually explain that? Krown, would you trade it? I feel obligated to say no, but I don't know. Am I a fucking fool for not trading something that has an 85% probability to work out? I think so. I think I am, man. All right, I'm all in on fucking Mara and the Witch, baby. Let's do it. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. How to manage risk? Yeah, that would be a good question. How do you manage risk on something like that? I don't know. Let's look at a little bit deeper here. Okay, so let's say that you take the last closing high Like the last confirmed high for the, I guess, what are these, full moons? And these are not full moons. I don't even know what the fuck they're called. Okay, we're calling this a top moon and a bottom move. How about that? Okay, so here's, let's come up with the, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. This is so fucking ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to regret this so much. I'm going to fucking regret this so much. All right, all judgment aside, let's just look at this as like some bullshit indicator. Okay, so let's say if we were to make a trading plan off this, we take the last confirmed low or high, and you can manage risk on there. Okay, so in this case right here, if you get the signal right here, this one does not work out. So, you know, we actually more of like we more so have like an 80% probability to work out. It's more like 16 out of 20 there. So this one does not work out because I would be using this local low. Well, then again, okay, so what, you just fucking blindly buy right here and then this is your risk management, and yeah, you maybe get a $1 profit on this right here. Okay, what about this one on this high? You look at this local high right here. Okay, you put your risk management on a closure above there. Well, that one certainly works out. This one right here, you buy right there on this confirmation, or sorry, on this dildo right here. You have your stop loss right around 49,000 bucks. I mean, technically speaking, that does go up $5,000. It's not bad. Right here, risk management right around 63.5. That works out for a, oh my fucking lord, $15,000 move. Okay, so there's that. We have this one right here. Yep, 51,000 bucks risk management. Go all the way up to 63. Okay, so that's another $8,000 move. Okay, time to change around strategy. This one over here, same thing. This one all the way to 61 to 51, $10,000. I can't fucking believe this shit. I actually can't believe this shit. This one right here, so you get the signal on this day or this day. This one would have been difficult. This one would have been difficult because you do go down right after the signal is printed. But ultimately, that was a phenomenal base area. Anyways, 45,000 bucks all the way to 60. I can't fucking believe this shit. I don't want to believe. I do not want to believe. Well, fair enough. Fair enough, man. I suppose you can make it work. Probably still better to go off a structure overall. Marin told me May was going to be bullish. That sucked. Okay, so maybe it's not perfect. I can't fucking believe that though. I actually can't believe that. I actually cannot believe that. Kenneth says, good job, fam. Always looking forward to these sessions. Are we getting any more upside on the short medium term for NVIDIA? Let's check it out. Let's see, NVDA. NVIDIA Corporation on NASDAQ. Ooh, it's looking good to me, man. So you're looking at short and medium term. Well, look, man, if I'm looking at the weekly, I'd feel very, very strongly about saying yes, and especially the monthly as well. Yes. But you're saying short and medium term. So I'm going to go down to a 4-hour, maybe a little bit of extension here, but this one's already extended on the 4-hour, to be fair. I do like volume signature on it. Let's see where potential targets are. Oh, it's already based above the 14414, and you did play within that range already, so I suppose if you put a gun in my head, I'd have to say yes. This one's pretty extended here, yes. Long term, I'd feel a lot more confident with this one, probably up to like 750 or so, but that is long term, and you're specifically asking about short term. Short term, less confidence inducing, but it actually does still say a little more upside here. 4-hour RSI is still okay for at least another short term move, I suppose, like a very short term move. Okay. Next cycle, I'm trading this. That's actually fucking insane, man. I can't believe that. You know, look, like, am I a fool? Am I a fool for, I am a fool, definitely a fool. But like, you know, am I a fool for discounting something that could have an 80% success rate? I mean, that's pretty fucking good. That's actually pretty fucking good. Okay, let's see. Bitcoin's coming down a little bit more. All right, so we're going to get that move down to about 35. I think we are. Measure move right here is coming down. Technically speaking, a little bit below 35, but I do think we're going to bounce somewhere between 35 and 31,000. And if you are going to be looking for a bull trap, or if you are looking for the bull trap scenario, it probably does happen off that region right there. Where does Bitcoin bounce to? Who the fuck knows at this point? Thanks for all. Hey man, my pleasure, Mr. Dude Daddy. My pleasure, sir. Full moons and new moons. Yeah, there you go. We discounted the Pi Cycle top 2. I did to my own peril. Hopefully other people did not. But yeah, man, you know, in hindsight, very, very good indicator. I mean, it's been perfect throughout the history of Bitcoin and continues to be perfect. And based off the Pi Cycle indicator, let's actually do a little bit of a dissecting analysis on this one too. Let's see. Let's get it like this. All right. So on all of the past top signals, how far did Bitcoin go down afterwards? Well, we got this one right here. That one was about a 69% move to the downside almost immediately over the next few months, and then ultimately an 83% downside move. Okay. Let's go to the one before that. That would be in 2014 right here. Let's see what this one looks like too. Okay, signal given, and almost immediately this one goes down about 57%, very similar to what we did thus far. Bull trap right around about 65%, and then ultimately does trade lower, I do know. We do come all the way down to our prior cycle lows. 83% top to bottom before it's all said and done. And then the past signal was right around this one. Depends if you take a wick or a closure. In this case, we'll do a wick first. We already know that's around 80%, so that's very much in line with the last ones that we saw. On a closing basis, we already know that's about 55 to 56%, I believe it was. Thus far, from signal given to current price action, I believe we're like, what, 50 or so? Yeah, we're actually just over 50, or sorry, just under 50 right now, as far as current price action goes. But if we were to play around with numbers, we're 70%. That's 19,000. What if we go the full 80, as did all the other ones go? $12,000. Could it be? Could it be? See what the moon say on that one too, man. Elon didn't cause a damn dump. Yeah, man, you know, I think it's really, really immature to blame Elon for something like this, man. He didn't even fucking sell, you know? I mean, like, if people sold based off of what he said, who caused the dump? I mean, think about it. Like, who actually caused a dump? Does a tweet cause a dump, or do buys and sells cause movements in price action? Oh, buys and sells. And unless you have, like, actual information that Elon's market selling, you know, I don't know, X amount of Bitcoin, can't really blame it on him, in my opinion. If you're being, like, super direct. Super direct. 62% equals 25 cases, Charles. Oh boy. Sir, Krown's move came and coming. Maybe we should all join on the moon, my friends. Vagrant Intel says, Krown, how do you know Elon didn't sell? We don't. But how do you know that he did? If you are blaming him for it, that would also be my point. It's like, you don't know that he did, but he says that he has not sold. He says that he will not sell as well, and Tesla will not sell as well. So take that as you will, man. There's no way to actually know. That's kind of my point. So, like, blaming something on something that you have no possible way, no tangible way of proving, it's like, it's not like, look, I'd rather do the fucking moon phase indicator than just blame it on Elon, because, well, at least it's tangible there. Brendan McBride, hey, are you related to Danny McBride? Can you look at BYND on the daily? Okay, this is what is this? Beyond Bed Bath and Beyond? No, Beyond Me. Oh, Beyond Me. That disgusting shit. It's actually a pretty damn good chart. I'd be looking for this one to rally back up towards about $180 so over the next few months here. It's actually pretty damn good. I would absolutely hate this as a company, but as far as charts goes, it's okay. Okay, short term, or let's see. Oh, you're looking just at a daily. Okay, if you're just looking at a daily, I would be looking for a little bit of a short term extension towards about 160, 162 region, and probably does reject from there short term. Long term though, I do think that it trades sideways and up from here. Yeah, long term, this is actually okay. Tesla has to declare it if it sells. Yes, that is true. But that's Tesla, not necessarily Elon Musk. So if you're thinking about Elon Musk as a person, he does not have to declare, at least I believe he doesn't have to declare his like personal finances. But as far as company Tesla goes, yes, they do have to declare it. And for what it's worth, as far as we know, they have not sold. And more importantly, they said they will not sell as well. Let's see. Nimbo says, because Justin Sun offered to buy all the coins OTC, why would he market sell? That's a good question. Why would he market sell? Trump said something about Bitcoin today. I think that was yesterday. Yeah, he said Bitcoin. You actually have to listen to what he said. And in fact, big credit to Nimbo for tipping me off on this one. I didn't even listen to it to begin with. But Trump said something along the lines of, or at least the news headline was, Trump says he said that Bitcoin is, it seems like a scam, right? But if you listen to the full transcript of it, he says it seems like a scam. I don't like that it competes with the US dollar. I want the US dollar to be the reserve currency of the world. When you say something like that, it legitimizes the other proposition, because when you say something like that, you're essentially saying, I look at this as a threat, and if I'm looking at this as a threat, well, you don't consider something that isn't a threat, or you don't consider something that isn't a threat as a fucking threat. Like, think about it this way: like if you're walking down the street and some homeless person asks you for change, and then you say either no or you just walk on by, and then they say, "Hey, fuck you! I hope you die," or like, "You're stupid," you probably don't take it all that seriously, because you just don't take their opinion that seriously. I'm not saying that this is like the right or wrong thing to do, but just to put in perspective, same thing with like Trump saying something like that. It legitimizes it in a way. But at the same time, it just kind of shows that he also doesn't really understand. I think what Bitcoin's ultimately trying to do, Bitcoin is not trying to compete as a currency, at least in the way that I look at it, and at least in the way that it's defined by, all regulatory agencies. It's trying to compete as an asset, and obviously fiat currencies are not assets; they are currencies. I mean, the word cryptocurrency is so misleading because realistically, these are crypto assets. If you look at all of the legal stuff surrounding this, they all refer to it and they've all defined it as a crypto asset, at least for Bitcoin and a lot of the majors. Now, there are certainly some that are trying to be like cryptocurrencies. I think Bcash is actually trying to be a cryptocurrency, where you actually spend it from person to person as like an everyday sort of expense. That I think is extremely unlikely to ever have like a mega impact in this world, at least in the foreseeable future. The reason being is because then you're going to be fighting against all of the digital currencies that all major countries are trying to put in now too. I mean, I think that we saw a statement from the European Central Bank or just like the European Union, whatever the fuck it is, say I think it was yesterday or the day before that they are all considering or trying to focus on regulatory framework for basically like fiat, like digital fiat currencies, and that's who you'd be obviously competing with, if you went that route. But an asset and a fiat currency they're not the same thing. So they're actually not really competing with each other, at least in the way that I look at it. If they're competing with each other, it would be as like a reserve asset, because other countries typically will hold US dollars in their reserves as kind of like, well, I guess like a hedge against their own currency in some ways. But that seems to be a little bit less popular nowadays. It seems like you see several countries kind of veering away from that a little bit, or making some moves to veer away from that. Okay. Let's see. Philson says Doggy is a currency. Yeah, Doggy would be considered a currency. I mean, it's, and you want your currencies to have like very low dollar prices, like for obvious reasons too. Doggy, just for what it's worth right here. Yeah, this one looks a little more obvious like a bull trap, but again, I'd be looking for this one to bounce off like just below 30 cents or so. I don't know if we're ready to break down just yet. I really don't feel too compelled to say that we're ready to like fully break down just yet. I do think still a little bit more likely to be bounced first and then break down if it wants to break down. Doggy coin right here probably bounces somewhere around about 30 cents if it wants to, if it wants to join the party. And then what do we get to do? Well, let's actually look at the weekly and monthly here for a second. Yeah, monthly looks like shit. Weekly, not too shitty just yet. Dude, is Bitcoin bouncing? Let's see, is it bouncing? We'll define a bounce, man. I mean, it's, Bitcoin can move around like what, 500 to $1,000 and really not do all that much. Yeah, it is bouncing right here. And let's see, I imagine this is probably coming around the options closure as well. And remember, 33,000 was a pivot on this, and we said Bitcoin very unlikely closes below 33,000 today. Yeah, I would say so still. Go back to June, 30,000 still a big pivot right here. So I imagine, let's see, we got another 45 minutes until closure and an expiration on those guys. Yeah, it very likely is bouncing right here. How high does the bounce get? That's a real question. How high can this bounce get? Wouldn't be too hard to get it back to about 33.5. Other than that, though, I don't really see any compelling things from other timeframes that matter. It's like how deep inside the rabbit hole do you want to go right now? Maybe the buy release showing a little bit of bouncy bounce signals here too. Yeah, I think it could bounce up to like 33.5 or 34,000 bucks. Where do we start to get a swing failure pattern though? Where does that come into the lexicon? Like, what if we do get a trap around here? It's not looking very likely, but where would you start to define an actual trap? Let's see, maybe a 4 hour we could use right here. Yeah, if you get a 4 hour closure above about 34,000 bucks, you could start to look at this potentially as at least a short and medium term trap, likely to pop back to about 35.5 region. But it's still got a long ways to go for that, man. Let's see. Sherry says everyone is using crypto money for AMC GME. Are they? Are you sure? Are you certain? Oh, the way I'm ready. There you go. Currency needs to be deflationary. You don't want to spend your assets. No, assets you want to be deflationary. Currency you want to be inflationary so that you spend them. Otherwise, everyone just hoards their money and no one does any business with each other. It's kind of hard to make an economy go like that. You want your assets to appreciate, or at least make up for the depreciation in your fiat currencies, and use that as like your everyday transacting. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Ichimoku Cloud on the Bitcoin daily chart. I don't look at Ichimoku Cloud. I'm not it's not that I'm not a fan of it. It's just I use exponential moving averages, and they pretty much give a bit of a, they do similar things as Ichimoku Cloud. It's just a bunch of exponentials, but I like looking at it in the way that I do, just because it gives a little bit more variability and a little bit more tools in order to kind of see what's going on. But I imagine it's probably going to be pretty fucking bearish right there. Bitcoin pumping. Is it pumping? I mean, you have a very interesting definition of a pump, sir. Are you on the 5 minute? You must be on the 5 minute, sir. If you're on the 5 minute, yeah, it's pumping. It's pumping like crazy. But again, I do think it pops back up above $33,000 here, at least for expiration for today on Durabit options. After that, anywhere around 34.5 is fair game. But as long as we're closing 4 hour deltas below about $34,000. It's not looking too hot, but you have a little bit of a swing failure pattern there, to be fair. Ichimoku is closer to ATR than exponentials. No, from what I understand on Ichimoku Cloud, it's actually just a bunch of exponential moving averages that are kind of streamlined for better visualization to kind of see where the trend and the pivots do indeed lie. ATR is more similar to like Trollinger bands, for example. In a way, it's another volatility-based indicator. It's not going to be a perfectly good analogy there, but it'd be more relatable to that. Let's see. Krown, I've been trying for months. Can you please look at OCGN short medium term time frame? Okay. OCGN right here. Occlusion on NASDAQ. Actually looks pretty good. The fuck is this thing? Oh, this is an actual stock. It actually looked good on the daily right here. Long term, I suspect it is going to be one of these straight down bullshit charts. I really don't like charts that look like this long term, but short term, does it have some upside? Yeah, it does. $13 and anywhere above $13, or what is this? On a daily, it's more like $16. Depends what time frame you're looking at, but weekly and daily both look like they want to test a little bit of upside here. I do like the uptrend. We do have hidden bullish evidence come out that last low. Daily TSI turning up. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about, I don't know, $15-16. If you see a weekly closure above whatever level I just gave out, I think it was like $14. I'd extend the run a little bit more towards the last major pivot here. Somewhere right around about 22.5. But long term, I really dislike charts like this. Really fucking dislike charts like this. But you do have some short-term upside. Plenty of momentum oscillators are still pointing northwards. We do see weekly, given several drives of hidden bullish evidence there too. So I'm inclined to say that at very least tests like around $15-16, and then probably does gun for like 22.5. But after that, I would hold my breath on some that looks like this long term. See what the monthly looks like. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the monthly either. It looks pretty shitty long term. Okay. Let's see. Have we already spoken off our faces here? I'm already 2 hours and 20 minutes. What the fuck? What have I been doing? I've been looking at too many goddamn moons and my brain's melting. Fucking hell. Don't worry. Bitcoin is like herpes. It will always come back. It will always come back. But sometimes it can take some time, sir. Thoughts on Ethereum? Yeah, we can maybe wrap up on that too. Ethereum, not immune from Bitcoin's downside movements. Again, bigger bases down around about 23 to 2250-ish region for a little bit of a bouncy bounce. Again, look, man, I want to make an excuse for some of these charts here, but excuses were banned after this level was broken right here at about 2650-ish region. Same thing for Bitcoin below about 35,500-ish region. So while, we could look for a bit of a short-term bounce here, I mean, maybe this thing bounced back up to like 2600, or simultaneously we do see Bitcoin maybe, potentially pop back up to like 34.5 region. Look, as long as we're closing below the last sort of major low within this region, there's not even a swing failure pattern to be spoken about. Now, to be fair, I mean, that's not too far away. What's up, bro? Elsa looks bored. Can I get a wave? Can you get a wave? Can you give a wave, please? There it is. There's the wave, baby. You got your wave, sir. Bitcoin Emerald bear. I would actually love to see that, sir. All right, we'll look at. Actually, we do want to see. Okay, we can look at a couple of those ones too, man. I guess I might as well spend a little bit more time here. Why the fuck not, man? Why the fuck not? Whoops, I'm looking at Hex. Neville, yeah, that's how you say it. Neville wants to look at Hex. I'm curious to see what Hex is doing. Wow, still holding it up significantly better than everything else in this market. That is fucking crazy. Now, is this one going to be immune from the downside moves? Look, I do kind of have to look at this one as overall bullish, as long as it's kind of holding, especially the 21 here at about 5.3 cent. The second that you take that area out to the downside, it very likely does join the red dildo party down to about 4.5 cent. But for what it's worth, man, this is still a pretty damn good chart. The weekly actually had the best closure out of anything in cryptocurrency, at least for like the major charts that we look at. Move back down to about, yeah, 5.25. Very likely does at the very least bounce it. And that's right around your daily 21. So honestly, man, I have nothing bearish to say about it as long as it's above this level right here. Below this region right here, yeah, I'd be looking for some serious downside, like 4.5 cents. But it's a hard chart to hate, man. It's a hard chart to hate. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Carl? Carl says, did you fall asleep in the sunshine? No, man. I actually tan like a motherfucker. It's crazy. I must have like some sort of, I don't know, exotic genes in myself. Or are you just blushing? ICP on the daily, please. All right. No time frame given, so I'm just going to go with the generic 4-hour and daily. The ICP, I'm guessing you're looking at this. No, you're probably looking at this. Probably looking at this is what I'm guessing. Wow. Holy fuck, that's a bad chart. Daily shitty, 4-hour shitty. This thing only goes down, and I suspect it'll continue to only go down for a while here. There's nothing bullish about this chart, man, as long as Jesus Christ, as long as it's below the last major breakdown point. I have to say, I might be looking for continuations. Yeah, man, it doesn't look good. Assuming that is what you want to look at. We could look at the stocks, probably going to be better. Probably going to be better. I don't know. I don't know. All right, we can look at VeChain. We can look at VeChain really, really quickly here. Only down. What was it? VET? Yeah, we can look at VET. Let's see, what does she got over here? All things considered, slightly better chart than some of the other ones, but look, it's just nothing's immune from Bitcoin's movements here. Where's your swing failure pattern? I mean, look, you got to play this one bearish as long as it's below about 12.5 cents. Nasty. Daily 200 coming in right around about just under 10 cents, it looks like. Looks like a little bit of a bull trappy right there. Let's see what the old fibbies show. In fact, it looks like I already did that. And right around the 382. Moses market topping out right around the 382. What does that imply? Let's see. Where did Bitcoin top out around? I think it was the 236. Yeah, definitely not the 382 in this case. Let's see. What if we do take, yeah, around the 236? Is Bitcoin actually that weak? You just rarely see that, man. The statistics of that getting hit off are pretty fucking low there. I believe it's like low teens. I'd have to recheck my data on that, but pretty fucking low. At least a 382, man, has like a 18 or 19% chance. That is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Yeah, we can look at Chainlink really, really quickly here too. Why not, man? Why not? I've already sacrificed my morning. Let's just do a little bit. Oh my god. Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord, man. Oh, even Chainlink gets smacked on the face here too. No rest for the wicked, sir. No fucking rest. I got to be looking back down towards $20, it looks like. Do have a base there, but, do we get a bounce in the interim? Probably, yeah. I mean, Bitcoin's bounce right now. Does this thing bounce back up to, like, I don't know, $26? Could very easily bounce back up to $25.5 to $26. Not a big fan of the way that this chart is looking, as most charts as well. Hey, there we go. There's your bounce. All right, so the options market, once again, giving the biggest, at least short-term opium we can have. But fair enough there, man. Yeah, again, I do think that Bitcoin very likely closes this next 4-hour dildo above $33,000, but after that, it's game on once again. If I'm going to give you a little bit of short-term hopium, here would be my short-term hopium. Look, if Bitcoin can close above the last major low, 29th of May, this is, on a 4-hour, you could maybe fit in a bit of a swing failure pattern right there and look for a move, maybe another like, what is it, couple $1,000 or $2,000 higher. Maybe retest around $35,000, and then maybe you do get a bit of a bear trap down around here. I think it's unlikely, but at least that gives you something. Does it seem like Doggy is being manipulated? No, I think it's just a piece of shit. It's just a really bad. It's just a really useless piece of highly esteemed technology, man. Man, looking at the Doggy coin chart right here, it actually is holding up better than Bitcoin, all things considered. I mean, to be fair, it is. Let's see, where did this one top out at? We take a bearish retracement on this one. Yeah, this one topped out at the 382. Man, if fucking Doggy coin's gonna get to the 382 and Bitcoin only gets to the 236, like, this is not a good signal. This is not a good signal, man. Look, it's very likely to bounce here too. As are everything's gonna move alongside Bitcoin's general trajectory, but it's a hard chart to love for right now. It's a hard chart to love. I do think, barring any sort of a swing failure pattern right there, probably does base a little bit lower, and then we get to play the game of where is that bull trap. I'll leave you with this. Again, the biggest reason why I'm truly holding out for like a Bitcoin bounce and still calling this more or less of a range is, one, well, number one actually would be the volume signature down here. We do not have breakdown volume just yet, even on the lower term timeframes. Not breakdown volume here just yet. It is starting to be a little more interesting though, to be fair. But when we go over to our biweekly over here, even if we are going to like really accelerate to the downside for what it's worth, based off that biweekly MACD signal, I'd really want to see some sort of a bull trap, at least at the fucking 382, man. I mean, even very weak markets typically get around there. In this case right here, Bitcoin has gotten around nothing. It's gotten around the 236, which is fucking weak as all shit. But you know, based off the signal right here and based off the moving average crosses that we were looking at earlier, typically we do see a bit of a lull below the 377 in this case. You could maybe even say that we've just seen that right here, right now. Then comes your bounce and bull trap, and your bull trap typically comes somewhere around the 200s area. In this case, that's currently operating just around 42,000 bucks. It'd be quite the fucking call to say Bitcoin's going to bounce up there from right now. But, you know, if I'm going off of what I've been saying for the last 2 to 3 weeks since we got in this range right here, look, I suppose everything is still holding up, all things considered. And technically speaking, I should be looking for a bounce from here. And I suppose that's what I'd kind of leave you with. Regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, I do look for a bounce from this region. We did hit the general targets to the downside there based off of the 35,500-ish region breaking. Now we get to play the game of where does this lower high come in around? Where does the bull trap potentially come in around? And anything below 50,000 bucks is fair game for that. So I still think that the best that Bitcoin bulls do here, I think that if you want to be bullish on Bitcoin, you're essentially looking at a range between about 50,000 and 30,000 bucks for, you know, probably most of summer, if not all of summer. The longer the better, typically speaking, as this did take about 3 to 4 months on the top right here. So, you know, you do want to see something relatively comparable to that if this is going to eventually turn into something resembling accumulation, which right now it's just not a relevant topic of conversation. We just don't have enough history here. I mean, it's only been in here for a little less than a month. At the end of this week will be, I think, month number 1. Then I want to see like another 2 to 3 months transpire before I really start to look at this as like a potential macro low. Until then, you know, I think best case for bulls is they go sideways within this region, maybe put in a bit of a bull trap somewhere around here, come back down, base around low $30,000. That's at the point where I do think that this starts to become a little more interesting. But for right now, you know, you still got the weekly. I'm trying to make excuses for the bulls out there. I'm trying to make excuses for the bulls right now. You know, I don't want to end on like a sour note, to be fair, just because I do know that this is really, really important for a lot of people here. And to be fair, you know, I do have to stick with my own rules, and that's why I have them to keep me safe in these sort of situations right now. Now, I would want to be on record as saying that this last move to the downside does not make things look all that healthy long term. But especially that biweekly close on last Sunday, I mean, that is what confirmed this right here. So all 3 or 4 signals have led to, you know, first a slight move to the downside, then bull trap, then continuation to new downside. I mean, to be fair, you know, even if I'm giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt where you get a bull trap and then come back down to 30,000 bucks, it is disingenuous of me to not also mention that all of these bearish MACD crosses on the biweekly have not just been followed by a bull trap coming back down to the prior lows, but making new lows on top of that, and typically significantly new lows. I mean, we're talking about this area right here, this area right here, this area right here. Same thing on our moving average crosses that we identified earlier, typically bases around the 377, then bounces up somewhere around the 200s, and then, well, continuation of the downside long term. I wouldn't blindly say that just yet. I would give Bitcoin a chance at like the low $30,000 territory, but, you know, understand what you're dealing with, and you know, have your areas in mind, of course, at the end of the day too. For what it's worth right now, Bitcoin very likely does bounce from here, and then pray to Boolah Jesus that, you know, it can close a 4-hour dildo maybe above about 34. Let's see, what it would be on max over here. Yeah, about 34,000 bucks. If you can do that, you know, you give it a chance, put in a bit of a bull trap first, and then potentially some more downside. But ultimately, it is pressure on right now, my friends, and it looks like no altcoins are immune from Bitcoin's movements here as well. Even the better acting ones like Ethereum, like Matic, like Kusama, I think it was as well, and Cardano. You know, while they are having better results thus far, I wouldn't be looking for like new all-time highs or anything like that until we see Bitcoin at the very least put in like a major or preferably macro base. So with that said, I want to wish you the best and the happiest. Trade safe, stay safe, don't get fucking liquidated. And with that said, take care.